Okay, I think we are good.
All right.
Got your mics on, guys?
We'll call order the town board meeting at the Town of Lisbon Town Hall on Monday, July 12th, 2021 at 6:30 PM. Roll call, please.
Chairman Osterman,
Here.
Supervisor Braun.
Here.
Supervisor Beal.
Here.
Supervisor Moonen.
Here.
Supervisor Plotecker.
Here.
Treasurer Seifert.
Here.
Administrator Nicholas.
Here.
And Clerk Capazza to record the minutes.
Thank you. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silence, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 3 is comments from citizens present. Do we have anyone on Zoom?
If anyone on Zoom would like to make a comment, please use the raise hand feature. No
Nope.
comments on Zoom.
Thank you. Item 4 is the meeting minutes. Discussion necessary action on regarding approval of the following town board minutes. We have the June 28th, 2021, the July 20th, 2020, the July 1st, 2020, the June 16th, 2020, the June 8th, 2020, and the May 18th, 2020. And I think Doug, you were here for A only,
Correct.
so we potentially could take B, C, D, E, and F in one motion, I'm assuming,
We could, yes.
and A in another. Is everybody comfortable with that? Is there a motion on A?
I make a motion, we accept A as presented.
Is there a second? Becky, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. And then we have B through F. Does anyone wish to make a motion on those?
I make a motion, we accept the minutes as presented, B through F.
Motion moved by Linda Beal to accept. Is there a second? Second by Becky. Any discussion on those minutes? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0 with Doug abstaining. Item 5, accounts payable. Authorize the payment of the bills in the amount of $183,362.89.
All right, so we have Coda appraisals for $36,100. On page 4, we have Premier Building Inspections for $26,814.06. Page 5, Waste Management for $68,637.93. Ask for your approval.
Questions or comments on the minutes? Is there a motion? I'm not the minutes on the accounts payable, excuse me. Is there a motion?
We approve the payouts for $183,362.89 as presented.
Motion by Linda to approve. Is there a second? Second by Doug. Any final discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item B is a monthly report on ACH and auto pays. Any questions on the auto pays or ACHs? Is there a motion to place on file? Moved by Mark Moonen, to place on file. Is there a second? Second by Doug. Any final discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item 6, announcements and correspondence. Now we have the board review meeting this Wednesday, the 14th at 6 PM at the Richard Young Fire Station. Just note it is at the Richard Young Fire Station, not here at the town hall. Parks Committee meeting on the 19th at 6:30 at the Richard Young Station. And then the Sanitary Sewer District Number 1 Commission meeting on the 21st here at the town hall at 6:30. And the next town board meeting will be the 26th here at the town hall at 6:30. And then we have the Plan Commission and quite a few joint public hearings on Thursday, August 5th at 6:30 at the Richard Young Fire Station. Any other announcements or correspondence to note? All right. Item 7 is administrator report.
I have nothing. We have our meeting next Wednesday.
Okay. Item 7, administrator report.
So we started work on the 307 with our attorneys and Sussex. We have a meeting this week to actually sit down. I'm working with the planner and the fire chief on commercial impact fees for fire. Our website get launched, and we are getting attaboys every day, few of them every day. Natasha did a great job updating the parks page. She actually went out and took pictures of all our parks and really made it real easy for people to understand how many park benches we have and our picnic tables. And we even received someone called and said that the organization in that page made it much easier for him to make a decision. So I'm very pleased with that,
A decision for what?
on which place he wanted to rent.
Oh.
So he could bring them both up and make a decision on which park pavilion he wanted to rent. I'm meeting with the Parks Committee to discuss a strategic plan. We discussed it at the last town board meeting for playground equipment. I have a timeline set up, and if everything goes well, we'll bring it to the board in October. In addition, another item on the parks agenda is to discuss the park committee responsibilities and help to define their role between the committee and the park division. A draft ordinance is scheduled to come to the board on September 13th meeting in hopes to get your feedback and any changes to bring it back for the October meeting. I met with Sussex on parks. They're really willing to help split the costs of the equipment in Stone Family Park, 50-50. And we are looking to put together a final plan for Stone Family, and we are so we can use part of our funds that we currently have and then budget for the rest of it for next year. They will be putting it in their budget for next year. They gave us some great ideas on how to save money and what not to purchase and the best way to set it up. So that was a very good meeting. In that meeting, we also talked about Sussex interest in Lisbon being part of their 4th of July fireworks and do it as a partnership. They currently budget $15,000. They would still be budgeting that amount. They're looking to make it larger, but they've also they've also been hearing from fireworks people that it's going to be going up even more so because of our relationship with China. So they're expecting the cost to go up, and they thought that this might be something their chairman brought to their administrator, and I'm bringing it to you. I'll bring it back for discussion when we start working on the budget, see if we can budget something in for them.
Was Marlene invited to that meeting with Sussex too?
No,
Nobody was.
no.
Have you updated?
I invited the park director, but not the committee. No.
Okay.
No.
Has she been updated as far as what you found out at all?
She will be at the committee
Okay,
meeting.
okay, good.
So that's all I have for my report.
Okay.
Any questions? I gotta say, I really like the website.
I know.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
it turned out real good.
Yeah,
On the parks page where she went out and did that, took the pictures and everything. I
Yeah.
think that's great. You can click on it and it shows you the different venues that we have. I
Right.
thought that was real
looks
good.
really nice.
It's-
I don't know why we weren't using her in the past at her full capabilities. This is, she
Exactly.
can really make a newsletter look good, a website look good. And she has a lot of ideas on how to make it even better.
And that's one of the reasons why I think she was hired too.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad we've got somebody in-house.
Too.
All right, anything else for Kathy?
No.
Thank you, Kathy.
Okay.
And now we have the treasurer's report.
You should have the reports from the last packet, but I wondered if anybody had any questions or anything, but I do have a summary of just what's going on. Interest rates are very low. They're practically zero.
Mhm.
For example, in 2020, we made half of what we did in 2019 in revenue. And for the first quarter of 2021, it's 1/10 of what the first quarter of 2020 was. So there's nothing I can do. I've been rolling them into the CDs there's only 2 of them that I have because I have them for collateral, but I've been rolling them into various money markets because I was waiting for interest rates to come up. But I heard from the banker that he doesn't think they're coming up anytime soon because most interest rates are below 0.05. I did negotiate 0.3 on the money market interest subject to the market, and they've knocked it down to 0.28, but that is actually our highest interest.
Wow.
I never thought I'd say that, but that is. And so accordingly, our revenues in the first quarter, we collected 2/3 of our revenue. Because the taxes, we collected 77% of the taxes in January and February and 98% of the specials. The expenditures, as expected, we've only spent about a quarter. It's like a little less than a quarter, 22%. And that's what we should have. And if anybody needs any further information, you can ask me anytime. That's all I have.
So one of the things, I know this is part of her report, but one of the things we're still need to understand is exactly what you're looking for from Joan. You know, do you want quarterly reports? Is what she gave you enough information, or were you looking for more information? You know, how often do you want to see her at a meeting? Those types of things, because this would be the first time she came in with the first quarter. I would think she'd come back for the second quarter, but I just thought it'd be best to get some direction on what the board is looking for.
I think the second quarter, the 6-month actuals are going to be the real big ones, because that's where the first and the last quarter can be the ones that are real skewed, so to say, because you can heavy pay some things right away. But that 6-month figure, I think, is the one that I'd be really interested in, and just seeing the trends and in our budget to see if there's anywhere we might be looking to be in trouble.
Yeah, and I
things
can
like
come
that.
in, I'm working on June. And so I can come in next month and give you the second quarter numbers.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you.
What would anyone else like to see? Anything else? I think quarterly is good, though.
I think quarter, like 9-month too, I think we should.
Yeah, each quarter, I
Mhm.
think it'd be
Mhm.
great to.
Do the department heads get monthly?
I have not had anybody that asks. Joe has access. He goes online and just has access, and so should Michelle. I don't know if she's using it, but they have access to our system. That's so they're able to pull it up, see how they're spending, and so we're all aware.
I would like to see, I would like to see where we are versus the budget.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is on this report,
No, I mean
Oh.
each individual department.
okay.
So you'd like the line
More
item
detail?
budget?
I'd like a
More
line
detail?
item, Yeah.
Okay.
a line
Okay.
Item that tells you what your budget is, what you spent, and how
And
much
what-
of your budget you spent.
Of left.
Okay, and you just
Budget.
want that for expenditures?
No, I guess
Everything.
you should have revenue too,
Okay.
I think.
I have the numbers. I just summarized it for this report. I have the detail.
Could you send out the detail?
Sure.
That'd be
Mhm.
great.
That'd be
Appreciate
great,
that.
thank you.
Sure.
Okay. Mark?
And how often would you like the budget report?
It's okay, like every quarter, that's
Okay.
fine.
Quarterly is good. Okay.
Just so we have some idea
Mhm.
of where
How we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Good.
Is
Okay.
it possible just to get a budget summary every month of where we're at?
Sure.
And then maybe at the second meeting of every month?
Do you want Joan to be here to present it or just put it
No,
in
I
your
think,
packet?
I think,
You want it in your packet or do you just want it to be sent to you?
no, I
Like we
think,
do
I
our,
think an email for the monthly would be fine.
okay,
Um, I personally like the quarterly reports of where our interest rates are and where our funds are going.
okay. Email. All right,
Okay,
that gives us good direction.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Joan. All right, item 9, supervisor reports.
Nothing. We have our meeting next Wednesday, so I'll have something at the next board meeting.
Anything for anyone else? All right, item 10, plan commission recommendations. Discussion and necessary action regarding recommendation to close Howard Lane to through traffic during Parade of Homes event. And I have no idea what happened at the plan commission.
Go ahead.
This came as part of the citizen comment. One of the residents on Howard Lane had some concerns with the Parade of Homes item on the Plan Commission agenda, and had some concerns regarding the traffic counts that they are expecting during the Parade of Homes, and requested that the Plan Commission and Town Board consider whether Howard Lane could be closed to through traffic during the Parade of Homes event. Plan Commission did approve the temporary site plan and plan of operation for the Parade of Homes event. And as part of their approval, they did make a recommendation to the town board to close Howard Lane to through traffic during the event.
Was that one person came forward?
Yes.
Probably talked to other people, I presume.
There's not many people on that road,
This-
but,
This is probably a good idea for this.
so
Mm-hmm.
we're thinking we could bring the DPW director to take a look and see how he could manage that road and just allow the residents in and out access, but no access to the Parade of Homes at all. Close the road? Yep,
You
that's
can
what
close
you
it to
can do.
through traffic, yes.
You know, in our subdivision, we have signs like that, no construction traffic come through the subdivisions, people called and complained, and, I understand.
We can talk to the contractors, but that's about all we can do. If they're building a house, we can, whoever's who's building it. But when it comes to the Parade of Homes, that's being approved by the Plan Commission, and the town board would have the ability to close the road. The Plan Commission just doesn't have the ability to do that. They don't have the authority and our attorney was there during that meeting, and he said that it's a town board decision.
Okay.
How are we gonna physically do it? With barricades?
It has
They
to
could put up barricades.
They apparently did it during, when the Parade of Homes was in Twin Pines. Apparently one of the streets in there, the people didn't want traffic coming through. And I don't know how they did it, but they said that Joe had handled it so that, but because, and they said, well, you can't close the street for 3 weeks.
Right.
The people can't get in, what are they gonna do, get out and move the barricade? So,
I know the Parade of Homes in Twin Pines was kind of a secluded road up on a corner with all those homes that were just freshly built.
Right,
So it
but
was
they-
easy to isolate that.
yeah, but they said there was one of the roads that, and I don't know because I didn't
I know they did block
see
it
it,
off,
but they did block off one of the roads, I don't
but
know.
it was up on the end of that. And I don't know, I'm just asking if it's legal.
Yeah, only the town board
Mhm.
can do that. The town board has the ability to do that, but, and if Joe decides it's a barricade and there's an emergency, that barricade can be moved immediately, but, if they have to get to the other side of Howard Lane, but I think if Joe's done it before, I'd like to put it in his hands if the board so chooses to allow him to determine how he can close that street through traffic.
So it'll be closed from what date to what date?
August 13th through September 6th.
I'd be opposed to doing this. I think you open yourself up to a lot of people outside there then asking for their roads to be closed. If somebody on Hillside wants their road closed, or somebody on Plainview wants their road closed, or somebody at Good Hope wants their roads closed, why should we single out one road to close?
Is this the only road that goes into this parade of homes?
No, I mean, the parade of, the subdivision comes off of Hillside. You can access it from Plainview, you can access it from Good Hope. I mean, you can come through, is it Hamilton Heights?
This would be a road though, that would be coming off 164.
164 and Hillside.
Well, the gentleman from the Metropolitan Building Association said all their signs will direct people to Good Hope Road.
I would go along with putting up a lot of signs, and if they're coming from the north on 164, they would be directed past Howard down to Good Hope and in and out.
Right, because he said
Or
that's
or
what
Plainview and over.
their signs would direct people to Good Hope.
And if they have adequate or a lot of signs up, I would think it would really cut down any through traffic. I would think, but
Having done some of these parade of homes, I think the biggest complaint you get is parking rather than traffic. You know, I look at, that subdivision's pretty long. I don't know where their home sites are gonna be.
Right close to,
So,
Hillside.
you know, it's a road built for two ways of traffic. There's no parking shoulders. So, you know, there may be people parking across on Beverly and walking in, so.
He said they had ample parking.
Where are they going to park, Doug? I mean,
They're
I'm-
gonna
They show it
park
on the map.
Some of the unsold lots right at the beginning
oh,
mhm.
and then walk, because the parade of homes is more
In-
towards it's not right on the edge, it's a
Right.
little ways in.
right. There's a couple homes in the beginning, but there's a,
Right,
it's
and
more
there's
like,
like 5 or 6 of them all together.
Yes.
And that's the parade of homes, and then they have like 4 lots that they're gonna park people on.
Oh.
And they felt that they had more than enough space.
okay,
yeah, it's in this map here pretty good. It's laid out pretty good
Okay.
in your papers.
okay.
So Mark, your concern was more precedence, not safety.
I don't think there's any difference of safety because it's not like we're having people walk up and down Howard Lane. I think if we were having some event like a block party or something, I think that is a safety hazard, but I mean, people using a road is, I mean, it's open to the public. I go along with what Doug said in the sense that most of the people aren't coming to these events that live in the town of Wisdom. Yeah, we'll get some people, but they're mostly out of area, people that are coming to them. So over signing is always the best to direct them to the spots where they need to park. And most of the developers are really good at this.
Don't we set a precedence though with having and closing a road in Twin Pines?
I don't know that we closed the road. I think it was that first entrance on the south. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know what they did, but they said that the people that whatever they did worked.
Okay,
So
I'm not 100% sure either, but when you came into the subdivision, the first road, you turned down and that was all the parade of homes with all the parking, and all they did is they put a barricade at the end of it. So you had to turn around and come back out.
Oh.
And
Yes.
so you couldn't go all the way through the subdivision
Oh, I
to get
gotcha.
out.
And I don't.
And I think that's a much different situation than this, when Howard Lane isn't
Right,
even
and-
part of it.
People coming from the south are going to see the signs and they're going to turn at Good Hope
Right.
and.
Or on Plainview to come over to Hillside. They're,
Right,
I
but
think,
he's very happy to work with us. So if there's a problem, you just need to contact him and
my other
make
concern
sure
is
he has enough signs up.
put up a lot of signs. I think if you did close that road, and then if there's gonna be all constant complaining of any cars that are coming through there, how are our deputies ever going to?
that's why I was asking Mark about safety. That's the safety I was looking for, not the walkers. I was looking for, getting cars down there. Our fire and police.
Right, and I don't know if you're gonna get constant, well, this guy drove through here, gotta give him a ticket, well. I don't know,
I direct people there on Google Maps. It goes down Howard Lane. Depending on where I direct it from.
Oh, if you
Yeah.
go into Google Maps.
But
Really?
they're, I mean, if you see the directional signs they have on the last page of their planning commission packet,
Yeah.
I mean, people do follow those. They're- Once they get in the area, they follow them because those things are posted every 100 feet. They don't want you to miss the parade of homes.
Well, I mean, you get there either way though, but.
I don't personally see Howard Lane is a problem. And I don't think it's fair to the people that live on Hillside to restrict Howard.
You know, and then we might have people on Beverly Lane complaining because they don't want them coming through their subdivision. And you're gonna have all sorts of, I guess if I lived there, you know what
That is a narrow road.
yeah,
Like it's ditches just after the road edge. It is ditches.
I know.
I think when people see the signs coming north for the parade of homes, they're gonna follow them. They do.
Does it hurt anything though, just to do that?
Why is it fair to restrict traffic out of somebody's subdivision for an event and put more in front of somebody else's house?
Well, this is coming off 164 though. It's not like you're coming from a subdivision to a subdivision. You're coming off the highest traffic road in the entire community.
Right.
So what
And then
about
you
the
got two
citizens?
roads. I mean, if you look here, I mean, it's right here.
Yep.
The subdivision is right here. It's right next to Howard. I mean, I don't know.
What about
I
if,
think we got to put something to deter people.
I think you can put up signs, no through traffic, and you could put up signs at both ends saying, parade of homes, arrows pointing away
Yes.
from it,
Yeah,
and put up signs that say no through traffic. But to actually close the road, I don't know.
yeah, I like that idea.
We could post local traffic only, but
Oh, okay.
You're not enforcing any of this stuff.
No.
No,
I mean, none of this stuff is ever going to get, even if they blew through, was going to get a ticket. At least I'm assuming that's the case.
Hmm.
I mean, can you legally ticket somebody for any of this stuff?
I mean, if you post a road with restrictions on it, you can ticket them for failing to obey the restriction.
Hmm.
It's no different than if you have an open to public road and you put up construction traffic prohibited, and then construction traffic drives down it, you can cite for the construction traffic and not regular people using the road. But to close a road, I would be.
Well, you could put signs right where on 164, stating right where Howard Lane is,
And right down to Good Hope.
yep, continue on.
Point this
Yep.
way.
Yeah,
Do that.
right, just
Yeah.
put the sign right there so they know that, and they don't know what the time that they're gonna have to come from.
Right, take
Right.
them, if they're going north, take them past Howard up to Plainview.
Right.
Right next to the no through traffic sign.
yeah.
It's heavy signage.
Right.
Okay.
What did the planning commission say?
They just were recommending, that it was closed, but it was
Close to through traffic.
to through traffic.
Was it unanimous or what was the
It
vote?
was.
Yes, unanimous.
But it's your call.
What do you guys want to do?
I mean, do we have signs up there that say no through traffic? Right now?
Not now.
6-ton limit signs.
Pardon me?
I think we have
Probably
6-ton
6-ton.
limit signs.
Yeah.
Which actually our ordinance says it can't be anything over 4-ton, I think. That was
There's
it.
something, yeah.
Yeah, we got a couple of Richmond roads that way too. We gotta probably look at that.
And you got a church on there too.
Well, I mean, you'd have to shut it down after the church, but. I mean, you're only shutting down one entrance. Do you have any culvert work that needs to be done over there?
Oh, is that the plan? Just close one entrance
I
and
thought it
all,
was just gonna be one entrance.
so all
on
the people have to go
164.
out to 164, people
Right.
that live there.
Yes.
You're gonna have a bottleneck of people that, if they were gonna use that road, are gonna go down there, get to the barricade on Hillside and have to turn around, and go back out. That's, That's also. a
I did
problem.
think that maybe they would just park there and then walk in too.
That's a long way to walk, but
I mean, people are not in a neighborhood park and walk over that. Well, maybe talking, I mean, if they need to buy tickets, they gotta walk half a mile just to get to the subdivision. So, I mean, those 5 or 6 lots, whatever it was, they're gonna use them. I think our main point is just getting people there.
Well, gotta make a motion on something.
Are we doing the road or are we doing
Yeah, just the road.
This is the road, yeah.
just the road?
Close Howard Lane to through traffic.
I'll make a motion to allow Howard Lane open to through traffic during the Parade of Homes event.
A motion by Mark Moonen, is there a second?
I'll second that with adding excessive signage.
Second the motion, then would you asking the motion to change it to
I am
Adding-
asking if you'd add on all the
excessive signage would be
excessive
required?
amounts of signage.
Can you define-
Discouraging people to drive through there.
Could you define the excessive signage? Or would you want staff to determine what's excessive signage?
Staff determinations.
Would the motion be okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, so the motions would be to allow through traffic on Howard Lane with the requirement that staff would decide the proper amount of excessive signage that would be
Excessive, yes.
used. So the motion has been made and seconded. Everybody understand the motion?
Mhm.
Any other comments? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Say nay.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I really, on that one.
To me, it's no big deal. Okay.
All right, motion passes 3-2. Item 11A, discussion necessary action regarding closing a brokerage account with a balance of $425,651.08 and moving funds into an LGIP money market account.
Actually, this has a lot to do with the market trends, that the interest rate on this account is only earning 0.01%. It earned $10.65 for the first quarter. And I think I got the second quarter and it's $10.50. So I want to move it to the money market. And it's not the LGIP, it's just the money market, the Waukesha State Money Market. Because I negotiated that rate and we're getting 0.28. Like I said, I did the calculations and it would increase the monthly interest to $99.32 for a total annual increase of $1,149.24. And if the board so chooses, I would like a motion for them to approve the closing the Waukesha State brokerage account and transferring the funds to the Waukesha State money market account.
Discussion.
Why do you need our approval to close an account?
Well, I was unsure about that because I only had a chance to glance at the financial policies. And I know that I've been switching money around. I have been closing some of the CDs, letting them close and transferring them to different accounts. But this was a brokerage account that Amy set up and I just thought I would like to bring it to your attention, and Kathy and I discussed having you approve it. I don't want to go ahead and just close it.
Right, since we're still trying to feel out where the board wants our treasurer to make decisions and how many decisions you want her to make without your approval and knowledge. This was something we thought $425,000 might be something that you might want to hear about before it was done and have some thoughts on the process.
Is the state, they have an account that we could put money, is this apropos that this could be put in the state? I don't know what the
state's
interest.
rates are 0.01 also.
Oh,
I mean, they're not 0.01, they're 0.0.
well, if it's 0.0 something, it doesn't matter.
0.02, they're not as high as the money market. The LGIP is currently earning, in the first quarter, it was earning, let's see. That was earning 0.06. So the money market is 0.28. It's more money than
Yeah,
that. That's actually kind of been my holding account, waiting for some of these interest rates to go up. So I could earn more money doing that. I'm trying to earn as much as I can. It's
Yeah.
$1,100 seems pretty measly with that amount of money, but it's
better than nothing.
better than
Yeah,
$10,
$10.
$40 for the annual at 0.01.
So bad.
It's just kind of pathetic, but that's why I just didn't know the boundaries, and especially it being a brokerage account. If I needed your approval or not, we just thought it'd be best to ask for it.
We thought best to be on the safe side.
I agree. I
and-
think that's a large amount of money. We should have knowledge beforehand. No?
No, okay.
We never approved setting this account up. Then you would have to have her come every time you opened a CD, every time you wanted to open a different money account with the tax money and stuff. I
Okay.
just don't think it's necessary. She is in charge of investments. and
Yeah,
She
okay.
should be allowed to invest the money as she sees fit.
Okay.
I mean, there are only certain things that Joan can, as a treasurer, invest in.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Right,
well,
short term, and it's all got to be short term, so it's available, yeah.
right, so
Mhm.
I just don't see the
Sure.
need for it. I mean, if the board feels that, that's fine, but we've never done this.
Well, as a former, accountant, I respect your opinion.
So if the board feels that way, then Joan can move on whatever she feels fit. I just,
As long,
We
maybe
thought it
she
was
can
best.
share it with you. Maybe can she share it with
Oh,
Kathy or no?
she can also put it in her.
No?
her
The treasurer
reports.
technically.
I can
reports
put
to
it
the
in my
board. If you-
treasurer's
Oh,
If you're having the
report.
treasurer report to
Mhm.
anybody, it's to the board. But
Well-
that being said, I mean, maybe it needs to be explained everything that can be invested in, because it is quite small.
Right, you can't put anything in a risky investment. You're
No.
allowed to invest in
No.
CDs, treasury bills. Most of our money is in money markets.
Right.
correct?
Right,
Or the LGIP.
right.
I mean.
Okay.
and,
Just the state.
Okay,
It's-
okay.
Mhm.
There's very limited things. And I guess if we were going to require Joan to come back to us every time we're going to invest,
Mm-mm.
any treasurer, it might actually get them to maybe not invest in certain things because it'd be cumbersome to do
Can
that.
can you
True.
just put it in the quarterly
I
reports
was
that
gonna
she's
say,
gonna
Yeah.
give us?
put it
Right.
in
Yeah,
the
I think
quarter
that'd be,
report.
I think that should happen. I mean, where our
Yes.
money is and everything, even the monthly, and hey, I move money this month.
I-
We want to know where the money's going, but
Right,
we don't
right.
necessarily need to be involved in
Right.
deciding where it
Right.
goes.
I just did, since it was a brokerage account, I've never dealt with those before. So I wasn't sure if I knew that I would make the decisions for the CDs and everything else. I've done that, but I was just a little bit unsure on this one.
Well, it's good discussion either way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Good to know.
If I remember correctly, this came out of a savings or it was a CD that closed? It was something really.
Yeah, it was some type of a CD in this brokerage account. I'm not familiar with how that worked. And I put a call into the guy who handles it. He hasn't called me back because he's the only, we have a banker Jeff Lightfoot is our banker at Waukesha State, but I think it's Ed Valkyries. And he hasn't called me back on that. I wanted to talk to him about the brokerage account too. But I wanted to see how the board felt before I did that.
Okay.
So now we know.
Okay.
I think the only thing you need to make sure, because I'm not familiar with brokerage accounts either,
Mhm.
and Amy did that because she was familiar with them, but
Mhm.
just if we have a penalty or something for closing it?
Well, I will find that out from him. Yeah, I will find that out from him before I close it. I just wanted to see where the board stood on that.
Is there an end date to it? I don't know about a brokerage account.
No, not on this. There was an end date on the CD that was
Yes.
within the brokerage account. and We were getting dividends and those were getting pretty small too.
Right,
And I think they just automatically closed it into what they call flex cash.
yeah,
Because, which is like a money market account, but because it's just so, there weren't any dividends.
yeah, okay.
It was actually, I was actually at one point getting negative, we were losing money on it because the fair market value was going down,
Oh,
so
for goodness sake.
that's
okay.
why I wanted to get rid of it.
I think that's your job and you should do it and give us updates on the
Okay,
board. Thank
all
you.
right.
Okay,
Mhm.
Go too
excellent.
far.
Any other comments, questions? Are we good?
Okay,
Yeah, no action on 11A.
Nope.
action. All right, item B, discussion necessary action regarding potential annual tax collection by Waukesha County.
All right, so in front of you, I have some background information. We currently collect our first payment property tax locally, and in 2020, we added an additional drop box to each of our 2 fire stations in order to allow our residents to be able to drop their tax payments in, make it easier for them instead of driving out here, and then also reduce the face-to-face during this pandemic time. We sent receipts to all of those people that put in a self-addressed stamped envelope. So in the office, we had Mary come in and do the primary, she was the primary person that did all the collections, entered the taxes. The clerk, the treasurer took all of the resident questions, imported the bank deposits into the software, scanned the checks into the bank deposits, manually entered the check, credit card payments, at the same time closing the year end and preparing the prelim audit papers. The cost of one person collecting the taxes was just over $5,400. And this does not include the extra over, the time that the treasurer was working full-time instead of just the 3 days a week. We had some problems fixing the software and it was very time-consuming. The customer service at Banyan was not very responsive. Sometimes it took a couple days to get response. Except for 5 municipalities in the county that have in-house software. Banyan is the only software that is local taxes are collected using. In 21, Waukesha County will collect for 14 municipalities, including 3 of our neighboring municipalities, Menominee Falls, Village of Merton, and Lannon. And we'd like the board to consider contracting with Waukesha County to start collecting taxes in 2021. The cost of collection is $1.60 per parcel. In 2020, we had 4,297 parcels, which would have cost us about $68.75. And the county sends a receipt to every tax payment that's made. They work with the bank if there's any bank issues, which we did have some bank issues that came up, and took some time for the treasurer. They send us reporting, and that is reviewed and then recorded in our tax roll into Civic. In 22 will be just something to remember. We're going to be hiring in 22 someone to do the accounting portion that Natasha does right now, the APs and the payroll. So the year-end payroll. So Natasha will start transitioning into the treasurer's position. During 21 tax season, Joan will have the ability to work with Natasha to reviewing the tax reporting that is coming from the county, recording tax roll into Civic, as well as working on audit papers during that time. To help with the transition with our residents, we'll continue to collect the payments here that come into the office and place them into an envelope. And then those will be taken out of anything out of the drop box will come in and we will nightly drop those off at the county drop box. The treasurer's office has a drop box right outside the county building for tax payments. We would be dropping them in there for them to process and send the receipts out. This is the process that the village of Menominee Falls has been doing with their residents, and that has worked out well for them. For those people that want to come in and pay their tax payments, they'll still be able to do it. We just wouldn't be placing it into Banyan. We would just be putting it into an envelope and taking it to the county for processing. So I don't believe there's any substantial fiscal impact on this. But if you have any questions or discussion at this point.
Waukesha County, I see it's $1.60 per parcel.
Yep.
But then they said they will work with the bank if there's any issues. Do we get charged extra for that?
No.
Did they say?
That's part of their process. So
Okay.
if the bank makes a mistake or something comes through the bank, then they deal with that instead of us having to deal with that. We
Okay.
do that now
Okay.
for our first payment.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I'll say something. I don't like this. I think that we are doing a disservice to our residents. They like to come in and pay their taxes in person. I think for some reason, the town seems to be getting away from services to our residents. I don't see, that the treasurer is quite capable of recording and accepting payments. And Chris could even help with that. She knows how to do it. A lot of people send it through the bank. They only charge us, well, I don't know what they're charging us now, but they used to charge us 25 cents to process their payments. They will also issue refunds to people when they come and pay there. I just think this is a great disservice to our customers, and I think it's foolish to have people come in here to pay their taxes, and then we take them to Waukesha County. I don't agree with this at all.
I guess I don't have a lot of opinion either way. I have a question. So when people have home mortgages and the checks get sent here, then you just put those big envelopes and take them there too?
Yeah, they wouldn't be sent here. They
So
would be
that would all
sent-
change?
They would, yeah, they just wouldn't, anything that comes through the mail, it would get sent elsewhere. And we wouldn't have to be processing credit cards and,
How does that change? I mean, how does that database or however those mortgage companies know where to send it to? How does that?
it's part of the tax bill. In the tax
Oh.
bill, when you get your tax bill, I
Oh.
put something on the side of the tax bill that says
Mhm,
how to make your payments.
I see.
And that would be on that part of the tax bill.
Anything that would come here though, like some people just mail it here.
Right.
They don't
Mhm.
look at any of that. They just do it. in
Yep,
it.
and then
So
we
then
just
we'll
bring
just-
it over
So we would just daily or weekly or how would that work?
daily,
I drive past the county.
and so does
So
Joan.
I go right, I live right.
Yeah, you're right there.
So we would drop it off daily. So they would get
Also,
there.
if interest rates went up, we get no interest from, and this is the time we have the most money. And if interest rates do go up, we don't get a dime.
Well,
The county gets all the interest.
we get deposited every day.
You what?
We get deposited every day from the county.
Right, but you do not get that money.
We do every
They
day.
don't deposit it in your account.
Yes. Yes, it's all deposited in our account
Oh,
daily.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's not how it used to be.
That's,
They kept the money.
yeah, no, they don't do that. They, every day we get a batch on what the bank collected, and it tells us how much money that came in. And then we get also a report from the county that says what they collected and how much was sent to the bank.
Can I ask another question? So how does, when we collect the taxes, how do the school districts and everybody else get their money?
Settlement,
At
yeah, I
settlement
just couldn't
time.
think of the word, settlement.
At settlement time that, and actually the county does that now. They give us some paperwork and we balance it and redo it, and then we send out, well, the first time I did wire transfers, but I found out that I could do ACHs to them. So I send out all the money to the January and February payments, and I would do that too, even if the
Yep.
county collected.
So the
So-
county doesn't distribute that money.
No,
No,
we do.
not until they do the lottery credit and the last payment, and they do it.
So the money that's daily deposited is getting deposited, even for the school districts, are getting deposited in the Lisbon account.
Right, and then we have to make, out of that funds, we have to ACH the amount that is due to the school and due to the county and WCTC.
Does that cost us money to send that?
Depends on where we're sending it. It might be, we could write a
I
check
think
and we could
it's
send it to a
quarter-
set.
It's a
Yeah.
quarter in ACH, that's
Yeah.
why. I
So that's
changed it.
negligible.
You're right.
I just, if like wire, if it was like $300 or
Wire,
something.
Right,
no,
no.
a wire transfer was $20 each.
Wow.
So it cost me $100 to do the first settlement. I
We're
thought
talking
I
about
had.
millions of dollars, Linda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say.
We're not gonna, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it doesn't cost a lot. And so I set up an ACH with Waukesha State Bank. Either way, if we collected or they collected, I do the same thing.
I mean,
I
yeah,
pay
it's
them.
negligible. So what would she, so let's say Betty Sue comes in to pay her taxes.
Mhm.
And she comes in, what will change for her if she comes to the town hall to pay them?
She would get a different receipt. She would just get a receipt on what she paid.
Okay,
So her tax ID and what she paid and the date. She would get that. It wouldn't go through Banyan. And then she would get in the mail the county's receipt on all of what we normally would give them through Banyan. And that reduces our time and by quite a bit.
okay. So we have these people that come in and love to have their taxes stamped, paid in protest. We have
They
the
can
stamp
still
in the
do
back. Would that still get stamped here?
They could still do that.
Because that actually has legitimate backing if something were to, I don't remember what the whole deal is, but if something were to happen and there was
Yeah, I
fraud
think we
proven, they
had
could get their
like 3 of
taxes
them
back.
this year. We had
That's
like
way
3 of
down.
them.
So would we tell them that, how would we notify the taxpayers that something is different?
We
Tax-
would, well, the tax bill will let you know, and when we put in the insert for the tax bill, that would let us know.
Or do you put in there, you can still pay your taxes at the town hall?
Mhm.
Well, and we did last year as well, but we tried to get people to use the drop boxes, use the mail, go to the bank to get their, because they can get refunds from the bank right away, and so we worked it in that direction. We would do the same thing, but they can also pay at the county at the county if they like.
So they can still pay at the bank?
They can still pay at the bank.
I guess I would not like to drive our people away from here would be the one.
No, that's what I'm afraid
That I
of.
would not, I wouldn't even want to push them away from paying
No.
here.
I like the
Yeah, just-
idea of personal attention, like Becky was saying though.
And I'll tell you, half the people come in and they pay their taxes, they haven't even opened that tax bill.
Yeah,
They haven't opened it?
They
Right,
haven't
they open
opened
it here.
it at all, so they don't see that they're supposed to go to the county.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
Instead.
I
Well, they
see.
don't, I'm not trying to drive them to the county at all. Drop boxes, mail, bank, or they could drop it off here. That's fine too. They could come in the office and drop off their payment.
Mhm.
We would just write them a receipt and then they'd get a receipt from the tax system
Mhm.
at a later date.
So the only thing would be different is a different style of receipt.
Correct.
They can still stamp their paid in
Yeah, they
protest, they
would.
can still come here.
Yep.
We're not gonna be driving, we're giving them another option to go somewhere, but we're not gonna request that they
Right.
drive
Go there.
down to the
No,
county, and we'd be
not
very
at all.
clear on all that.
But
That
we're
would be the big
saving,
thing.
but we're saving office hours.
Right,
Of some kind, right?
Potentially.
Is it
absolutely,
Significant or?
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, the person that was sitting up there, the majority of the time, Chris doesn't use Banyan at all. So we brought Marion, because she had used Banyan in the past. And, but Chris doesn't use Banyan at all. She could write these Chris to help us with that.
How long a term is this? I mean, is this yearly or?
It's yearly.
Like if we tried it and
You
didn't
could try
like
it
it,
and see if we have any
we go back.
major complaints, we could go back. Probably wouldn't want to go back in 2022, because that would be the first time that we'd be running through for Natasha, but
Because I understand what Becky is saying.
Me
and
too.
Joe, and
Mhm.
I guess I don't know enough.
We hired Mary. Mary was, because we were looking for a full-time treasurer.
Mhm.
And Mary was going to be, she wasn't hired to primarily collect taxes. She was going to be the backup so that we had basically two people do the treasurer's job.
right.
And I mean, Chris has used Daniel before because Chris helped me. But it was many years ago.
Right. She did not help at all when it came to this last
Did you
year.
ask her, saying, we need
She-
you to do this?
She worked mostly on doing compost. You know, she's doing the compost pass.
But
Trying to
we
get
weren't
that done.
selling them in
Oh, no,
December.
What was she doing? Dog licenses she was doing. I knew she was doing one of dog licenses. So she was doing the dog license work, getting them their dog license tags.
Well, that doesn't seem like a full-time thing to do.
And election stuff.
Well, she-
We had all the prep for the February election as well.
And she's working her regular work too, all the regular stuff that she does.
And most
Chris
people
does.
pay their taxes in December.
A lot
would
of them
think.
do,
Yeah,
The last 2 weeks.
yes,
right?
a write-off. I always bring our taxes up here just because
Mhm.
I do that.
I pay mine by mail.
So looking at the, sorry,
Go
the
ahead.
costs. So it says the cost of one person collecting taxes was just over $5,400.
Yep. That was just Mary.
Okay. So that position this year would not be there.
Right.
Okay. What do you anticipate? So Joan's hours were not included in this $5,400. So I anticipate that would fall back.
Right.
Or
She
would
wouldn't
not.
have to do she wouldn't have to be here full time then.
Okay.
And how much will
So-
that probably be?
More than, what is it, the difference between the two? It's about, there's only a $1,400 difference in the cost of Mary, and then the difference between the cost of the county collecting would be about $1,400. It would be close to that, if not.
Well, let's just
Or the
assume
savings.
it'll cover that.
Right,
Whether it
right,
does or doesn't, it'll be negligible.
right.
Here's the only thing I see, no matter who is in the treasurer position
Mhm.
when Joan decides to leave,
Mhm.
is it viewed that the treasurer position would then be full-time?
Yes,
That just took care of that $5,400, at least half of it. Because now half of Mary's here that month.
right. We'd go back to the full-time position.
I mean, the board's got to decide what they want to do with that too, obviously. You gotta make sure she wants this position too.
We've talked,
I'm sure.
we've talked. Mhm.
I was gonna say, I've never heard
We've
that
been talking.
before, so it's interesting.
We've been talking about it.
Ask again.
Okay.
Um,
So you're saying in the future, we're gonna have a full-time
We,
treasurer?
we got to decide this,
Okay,
okay? I mean, that's projected, because we had talked about hiring a full-time treasurer already. That's why
That's
there were
correct.
hours, that's why there was money for Mary. Because remember, we had put out, and we had, I think we set it at $50,000, I think is where it was, because when Amy was leaving, we're like, why don't we just stick this money in and we do full-time, it'd be easier to find. Well, then, that didn't happen, Joan came in, she was part-time. And then we hired Mary
Mhm.
with that money.
mhm.
So are you saying if we did go to a full-time treasurer, it's better to keep the tax collection in-house? then?
No, I'm not, I'm just saying, just understand that if next year, some of that money is gonna be used for the position that you're saving,
If we go
I-
to full-time
right?
treasurer.
You're still saving some though.
Although
You still
we
save
would
half of
not be
that.
collecting, but the person would not, in next year's budget, the person wouldn't be starting in January. She'd be starting at,
Well, then the
Yeah.
year after, but I mean, whatever,
Still.
in
whatever
22,
position
it would be a
is.
difference.
And we're not talking a ton of money here, but I mean, it's just,
I just don't want to lose that camaraderie and stuff that, because we're such a small little area,
with the residents, you mean?
Yeah,
I mean, it sounds, and I guess, it sounds like everyone would still be able to come in.
We just wouldn't process.
That's why I'm asking, what is the resident gonna
Right,
see
right.
different?
I would like to see that, though, if you have a list, you can pay here. I would still like it, and maybe on top that you can pay at the town hall at first,
Because, yeah, and I think that's what I was just saying, I want to make sure we're not directing people away, because I do,
Exactly.
there are times where I do feel like we are not as, with our residents, we're directing, do this, go on the
Yes.
website, do this, and we've
Yes.
directed them away from the town hall. It's not been, the intent there wasn't to get, don't come here, but I mean, it's,
Yeah.
so you've got
I
all
know.
these different generations of people. You've got the millennials
Yeah.
and then the zennials and everything around that. So my grandma would have came to the town hall. My
Yeah.
mom would have probably come to the town hall. I pay it online.
Yeah, yeah,
Kids, everyone younger than me probably pays it online.
probably.
So it's,
My kids do.
right. But I mean, there's these, my generation and older is coming in, myself and, generation younger
Mhm.
isn't. It's kind of, I'm probably the breakup there.
Yeah.
I
But-
think you need to find how many people came and paid their taxes in person.
Yeah,
We couldn't, we can't tell them.
you don't have
But-
any.
But they still
Because-
can.
Yeah.
I think are you okay with it? They still can come and pay their taxes?
I think it's a,
So I mean, if they can come in and if the
yeah,
resident,
but so you're having all these people come in to pay their taxes, they're in a line. You're going to handwrite a receipt to them. And then you're gonna take the money and run it to Waukesha. It just seems a waste of time to me.
I never paid mine here, so I don't even.
Well, see, you should, it was an experience. But,
So how many,
if we are not going to have the taxes collected here, I can't see that we need a full-time treasurer.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, we didn't necessarily need a full-time treasurer either way until we started talking about bringing sanitary district buildings in-house and other things. Remember, that was the discussion about that.
Right.
Like, there's not enough work for a treasurer full-time unless you're doing.
And I
some
don't
other
know if
things.
there's enough work on the sanitary part to take up,
Because that's only quarterly billing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm unsure about that too.
well, I mean, the discussion was looking towards the future and
Yeah,
trying to combine, design the position that it's actually gonna recruit a bigger market of people to put in for it.
Right,
I
I mean, if you
know.
remember, I think we had
nothing.
2 people respond to our initial ad.
Yeah, I mean,
wasn't
let's
here.
be frank, if Kathy had brought Joan in, we'd probably still be looking.
Then it was part-time.
Yeah.
Right. But I think the future is full-time and that's what we said.
We're
about a year
not
and a
getting
half
any
ago.
smaller. So I mean, I guess it's looking at what we're doing here. And I'm not saying we have to have a full-time treasurer here, don't get me wrong. But I don't think we should decrease our FTEs in the town hall. So I'm speaking to this from an FTE perspective between, each position here, the clerk, deputy clerk, treasurer, I mean, whatever we have. I don't want to decrease the hours we have available.
Right.
And we're in the midst of our busiest year we've ever had. But is the treasurer duties alone worth full time? Probably not.
I have another question. So the processing of it is what you're eliminating.
Right.
If you sent out the tax bills and said you have another option to pay to Waukesha County and people choose to do that, can you still, the people that come here, can we process half of them and Waukesha County process the other half of them?
No.
Or,
No, it's
Yeah.
one way or another.
How much, so we would not need the Banyan software anymore, or is
Right.
that free?
No, that is not free.
So how much does that cost?
I don't know, but I did have that written down before.
It was like
I don't know.
$2,000 a year
It
or
was-
something, wasn't it?
I thought it was 4.
4,000? So I
Do
mean,
we-
that gets added on to this 50, that wasn't included in this,
No,
was it?
it was not.
All right, so it's really $9,400 potentially, if that number was right.
Yeah.
So now you're actually at
It
$9,400.
was 4,500 this year.
Okay,
Is
Okay,
it,
so we're at
ju-
10
is
grand.
Banyan just for taxes?
yep, that's all we use it for.
Right, so now we're
Oh.
at 10 grand.
That puts a new light on stuff.
My thing is, if it changes anything for the residents, that's a problem. If we're directing them away, it's a problem, but it doesn't look like we're doing
That's
that.
that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for Waukesha County to process all our mail, all our drop box, and then anybody that walks in, we'll give them the receipt. They'll just see a different receipt. They won't have to stand there nearly as long. And they'll be on their way.
Is it computerized?
The receipt?
Yeah,
It could be. I didn't write up a receipt because it didn't,
okay,
we can print them out and all we'd have to write is
yeah. Because we
The
always
tax
get now
key
a
and the
printed one
amount.
when we come in person.
and stamp it.
Yeah,
I guess I'd like to have some kind of record retention here that could be
yes,
clear, because what if there's a problem?
yeah.
You know, that would be, I mean, you can't pay with cash, right? I mean, nobody does that. Please
We
tell me
did
nobody
have,
does
we
that.
did have a couple people pay cash this
All
time.
right, so that scares the crap out of me with a written receipt.
Me too.
That was a problem for me because I had to physically take it to the bank.
Yes.
I had many people who came, like, well, not many, like, I had about 5, 6 people that came with cash, and I talked most of them into taking it to the bank, because it's a security issue for me to take that much money to the bank too, for the deposit, and for us to keep it on hand. It's a security issue.
So, right now, just so you're aware, she doesn't have to go to the bank every day because she can send the checks through. There's a system that she sends the checks through and deposits it that way, so.
I scan them in.
mhm.
They give me the scanner that they use, the bank uses to scan them in. And if we switch Waukesha to Waukesha, they do it instead of me.
Right.
And that's what takes a lot of the time, is scanning those checks in, depositing them, and fixing all the errors from when the bank sends a report over, that from the ones they were collecting. And they were very short-staffed, so it took them a long time to get our badges to us.
So let's say there's an error on the check. Let's say somebody screws something up on the check and we don't notice it here, and it goes to the bank refuses it. Do we know what the process is at that point?
Do you remember what we did in Waukesha?
It's the same process as here with NSF checks, because what happens is it gets sent to us, and the county notifies us, and we have to call the people and clear it all up, and then
But it would happen here?
it would happen here, yes.
Okay.
The NSF checks did come to me the same way they do now, so.
So, and then we would notify the county and the county would take it off that they didn't, that they aren't paid. So then they still know that they still have a bill paid.
And actually, I had some that I worked with them, and they got the checks right to me, and we never even involved the county. They got the money back to me with a fee for the NSF check. So I only had about 2 or 3 of those.
If we go to this system, will that cut your time at all?
Yes, but honestly, I don't believe that I could have done the tax collection and done all the work I was doing also, because I spent a lot of time on processing things. Banyan is terrible. I had Banyan 10 years ago and they haven't changed. And they're terrible because they use a beta system. They have one programmer, and if something's wrong, he fixes it like on the fly, and then it's not always fixed, and I have to wait for him. And if he has a day off, I waited 2 days because he had a day off. He's the only one there who can really help support if it's a programming issue. And that's the only issues we had. But most of this is only going to be in the processing. Like Kathy said, it won't involve I guess I don't really see the residents even noticing that much, because they'll still have all the options they have now. And they'll have one more that they can actually go to the county. The county intervenes where it comes to the bank errors. I had to fix all the bank errors, and that was really time consuming. I had to go through the credit cards, and we have a lot more credit cards now coming in. And I had to manually do those. And the bank And if the county does it, they actually process all those credit card payments. They process, they do all the checks and deposit them in our account. And they do all of that work. And all we do is we get a report and we still have to take the batches, match them up, and then enter them into the civic system. But we don't have to deal with the banning part. That's a time consuming thing. I worked full time and even from December 15th until February, and even had weeks where I had overtime because it was just so, there was just so much with that. And the bank's having more problems too, getting people to, and the county told me that they send them back to the bank and make the bank correct them. But because of the time lag, I couldn't do that because they were sending me batches a week late. And then people were, why isn't my receipt posted on the county? Because we processed as soon as we got them right away, the very day we got them, and sent them and, had them up there so that it was on the county website so people could see them. And if we take them to the bank, to the county in a big batch, they'll process them and then it'll be up to the state. It kind of eliminates that middleman thing.
So when she said she was working full-time and then overtime, keep in mind that she was also getting updates, because we were behind when she first started in September. So we were trying to get that ready for the audit and then doing the audit pre-audit work that needs to be done because we do our audit. That pre-work needs to be done November, December-ish is where we're doing it.
Mhm.
So.
How many hours do you normally work, remind me please a week?
I'm scheduled to work 20 hours a week.
Okay.
What happens if somebody brings a credit card in here to pay their taxes?
They put it through the credit card machine.
Just like normal? So there's no change there?
I didn't think about that part. You're talking about when they come in, if we went
Like
to
if
the
somebody
county?
comes here to run a credit card to pay their taxes?
I didn't think about that part yet.
I don't know how many people do that.
We had a few.
I don't think they come.
What?
Not very many.
Come here and pay their taxes with a credit card, or do they have to go through the
Online system.
website and we get a report of who paid taxes?
That's what they did.
I
Nobody
didn't-
came in here and paid them.
Well, could we have a computer here that we could help them through it potentially? Like if we had
We
like
could have them pay on the county's website. with their
here,
card.
right, with their card, like we could have somebody physically walk them through it here. And that would actually be above and beyond what we've been doing.
No, because the credit card, they've always had to go on the website and they
Right, but
press a
we'd be-
button and it takes them to an outside organization. I forget what it is, I still
Yeah.
get things. They pay a fee to do that, then the point and pay or whatever it is sends you a report with everyone who's.
Right, but if we
paid
help
their
them,
credit
I'm
card.
saying if we help them with it, like if somebody came with a credit card instead of just saying go on the website, if we actually had a computer that we could help them with it here
We could swivel the monitor. and
Right,
it
with
is
the keyboard
A cordless keyboard.
and just have them kind of,
Walk us.
I mean, I don't
help
know,
Walk them through it.
it's not lucrative for somebody to pay with a credit card, to be honest.
No.
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 So it's 2.39% payment
Wow.
for credit or debit.
But if somebody's in a tight spot and they need to, I mean, let's be frank, this is a COVID year. A lot of people haven't been working, so
Mhm,
I pass no judgment on anybody for that, but
mhm.
heck, maybe some people get 4% back on it, who
I was
knows?
gonna say, some people get.
You might make money on this
Yeah.
deal, but, I do it online with online chat, costs me $1.25, and it costs me more in gas to drive down here, and a stamp's 50 cents, and an envelope's
Yeah,
30 cents, so.
yeah. Okay,
Becky, I'm sorry, Mark, go ahead.
So just so I'm on the same page, the first collection comes here, but if somebody has a second installment, that
Goes.
automatically goes.
It goes to the
It's
county
going to the county now
already.
anyways.
Mhm.
Do you feel any better about what we've discussed, Becky?
Becky, now that we discussed it.
But there are other people in here. I just don't think, I think it's a disservice. And I think it's a waste of time. I mean, you have people come in, you still aren't reporting their taxes. That's just my opinion. So I just think that you have people come, they wait in line. You don't want to send your people to the county to pay their taxes when they live 5 minutes from town hall.
But we're not.
Right, but if you're going to say on the tax bill, because it says, make your first payment at the Lisbon Town Hall, you're gonna change that, make your first payment at Waukesha County. They're gonna think they have to go out.
But, and that's what I was bringing up, is we tell them you can pay it at Lisbon Town Hall or at Waukesha County, if we make sure that they.
I wanna
word it.
fir-
I don't think you can put two things in there.
Wouldn't that,
I don't know, to be honest.
Because that's what I wanted, that was one of my first points, was I want to make sure we're not directing people away from here.
Right.
We make sure they understand they can come here too.
Mhm.
You know, like if we're making it so there's no change for somebody coming in for them. Might be something, like we might have to run things down there, but it still sounds like that might save time.
So if they pay here, they come here and they get a receipt that's paid today,
Mhm.
but yet it goes to the county, is it legitimate when the county posts it?
Once they
No,
pay
it's
it.
date stamped.
Okay.
Whatever it's date stamped, we stamp it received, give it to the county. The county processes it as of the date stamp.
So even the December 31st ones that come in,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
even though we may not get, so we have to physically run it down to the county on the 31st then, or
No.
Nope,
it just would,
And
even if we
there's-
give it to them later?
And
it's-
actually, there's a lag that the county does, and so did we. So if, because we're closed on the 31st and the 1st, and then possibly the 2nd, depending on when the holiday falls, we processed anything I put on the drop boxes, anything brought in by a specific time on a day would be processed as December 31st. So last year, I think you could put it in a Dropbox by 7 a.m. on the 4th of January, and you would still be processed for December 31st.
Mhm.
And so the people that are concerned about that,
And the mail was by postmark, if it was postmarked by the 31st. it was accepted.
Mhm.
right, and that's the same that would happen at the county.
Can you keep on the instructions that you can pay at the town hall? That'd be the first thing I would want there, or you can do this, or you can do this.
That's not the way it was last year, but yes, I could do it that way. Because we have one whole side of that area that we can write however we want,
Oh,
whatever we
excuse
want to
me.
write.
Okay,
And I wrote, due to the pandemic, blah, 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 we're asking. So, but people still came in and we took
Sure.
care of them just as we did.
well, sure,
We will, we will with this process as well.
sure, okay.
Okay. What's your thought?
I think you were asking about the escrow checks coming way earlier.
The what?
We were talking about escrow checks, Doug, I think.
Yep.
Brought it up. I'm just looking on their website and it says, if my escrow check is payable to my local treasurer, do I have to get a new check?
Nope.
They said, no, we can accept the check if we are collecting the taxes.
So even if they make it out to the town of Lisbon.
Yep.
If they come in and make out a check to the town of Lisbon or to treasurer or however, and you still take it up there, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. They did that in Waukesha all the time.
Who sends the refund check then?
We do.
You do?
So we get all the overpayments and then we send the check out, and you would approve it just like you normally do. So
And the
that
county
won't
is
change.
putting all this money into a bank account that's Lisbon's,
The Lisbon's.
all of the school district money, all of it's going in there. So none of that's really changing. And that was kind of a concern of the money that.
Mhm.
was
Yeah, we still
Becky
get the
saying.
interest.
You still get,
And then we have to make during settlement, Joan has to do the ACH and pay each.
and you're still making out the tax bills here. All of that's
still-
still on you.
Well, the county actually does the tax bills, but yes, we do the documents. They do the tax bills now.
They've been
So-
doing them anyway. I mean.
They do them all the time. So we go through their system.
I don't know what I'm talking.
Yeah, so we go through their electronic system and put in all the information. And then we review all the reports to make sure that everybody's getting garbage and such on. And then if there's any special assessments, like we will for Wyckoff this next year. Or this next tax bill. So we will have we go through all of those reports the same way we did. It has nothing to do with collection at all. Tax billing is actually done at the county. It's sent out through their printer. It's printed, it's mailed. We don't do the mailings. They do that for us now.
Hmm.
That doesn't change. And I didn't change that. That's the way it's been for many years.
Would you cancel Banyan right away then?
We could, yeah, because it's just sitting here doing nothing.
Do we pay yearly for that?
Joan, do you know?
Yeah, I think we do pay an annual fee.
Do you get a refund on it then?
Probably not.
We got it till the end of the year.
Oh, okay.
I would bet money. I mean, I could be wrong, but I,
It-
Well, that's what I would think.
Yeah, it would be it would be something we can look into because we would start collection in December. If we don't
Right.
we don't need it in December
Right.
and we cancel it, we might be able to do something. We would ask for something, of
Okay.
course.
Okay.
and Banyan is the county's own software.
No, it's not the
not
counties.
the
It's just
counties.
that, no, it's not the counties at all.
Okay.
So otherwise we'd have more support at the county if that was the problem, but no.
Actually, when you said one person, I thought
One
for sure
person.
that was the county.
No, no, the county has a very
No, and
large
that's-
IT staff.
And that's part of the problem is that when I get these payments and there's errors on them from the bank and they make errors in the overpayments, things, they come electronically to me and I only have the tax key and the amount. I don't, on a whole list. So I import them and then I print out a report and and then I have to send them electronically to the county. And then if there's an error, the county kicks it back to me and I have to fix it. And I have to figure out, well, I have Banyan, I can look them up and I can fix it. But if the county's collecting, they fix it.
They take care of it.
Or they send it back to the bank and make the bank fix it.
Mhm. When this was originally brought up, this was brought up years ago, I guess. I don't remember how many, I think a couple administrators potentially, right, Becky, or was it just one? This- How many people, this was brought up a couple times in the past.
Oh,
doing
yeah,
this.
they did it. They did it the year before I started as a treasurer.
Okay.
They had the county do it and it was
I know I've been
not
presented
good.
with this at least once before, and this is when you brought this up. You probably seen Becky and I looking at each other and
Yeah.
snickering because originally when it was brought up was that people had to go to the county. I mean,
It's
for my, it was like, you got to go to the county, and then we pretty much just pushed everything out of here.
Right.
But that's not what I've
No.
heard here, obviously.
No, and that's, we would be doing it the same way that the village of Menominee Falls, because they would have the same problem. Menominee Falls is right up here, and they'd have the same problem having people go all the way to Waukesha County to pay their taxes by hand. So they do it here, they take the payments, and they drive them down there. And luckily, we have two people that drive right past there, so we don't have to pay mileage.
Is there a drop box that you drop it off? You have to go inside.
Yeah, they have a
Drive-through
night
drop
box.
box.
Oh,
Yeah, they have a night deposit box that all tax payments go in.
Okay.
And other stuff.
How do you feel about it, Doug?
Well, I'm learning a process here, so I'm not sure I have a good background to make a good decision, although now that you brought up, Becky, that we did do this once, and what was the issues?
It cost us, it was different because they kept the money.
Mm.
We did not get the money. They kept everything they collected, they put in their accounts. And we just got a settlement check like we do with the second payment when they do the final thing. So, but we lost a lot of money.
Back then, interest
because
rates
of
were
the
high.
interest.
Can you,
The interest rates were high back then, so it would have
The
been
interest
significant, that was
rates were very
significant,
high.
significant money would have been.
can you double check or you know for sure that we get the money in our account right away? You know that for sure.
Yeah.
Twice per week. They do deposits on Tuesdays and Fridays. County's been collecting town of Brookfield's taxes for 15 years.
And they did Waukesha's as well. And it was twice a week,
Yep, Tuesdays and Fridays.
Yeah,
Joan?
yeah. They
Reports every
deposited
day.
right into our account.
It wasn't daily, my mistake.
Well, and
No,
and
reports
it
were
sounds
daily
like they've improved it since the first time that the only time that they've done that is that we can have taxpayers come in here and pay We're not pushing them off.
Technology's definitely changed and everything
Yeah.
else. and
Yeah,
I guess I would, if we were to do this here, I would be very much, we need some kind of checks and balances. Like if somebody brought in cash, I want two people signing off on it.
yeah,
Oh,
Oh,
I always do that. When somebody brings in that kind of amount of cash, then one person counts it and then I count it. You know, we check.
And two
each other.
signatures.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
Because-
would want whoever did it to both
Yeah.
be signing off on it.
Mhm.
It's not that I don't trust people, it's just, you don't know who's gonna be here down the road, you
yeah,
know?
Exactly.
definitely.
Exactly.
How do you feel, Mark?
I guess it's kind of the same thing as the discussion we had about the Lisbon Gazette, just on a different topic. We're looking for ways to move forward with streamlining our office staff's use of time, but also still providing the services that people are accustomed to. So I guess if I'm hearing that people that still choose to bring in their bag of pennies can, you know,
Yeah.
they can still do that.
Mhm.
You know, I personally pay through the mail and I leave it up to my mortgage company and I make sure they pay it. So, you know,
Yeah.
it's a little different ballgame for everybody, like Joe said.
I think it'd be interesting if you go ahead and do this, we could keep a list of how many people actually came in the town hall.
Yes.
And so then we can see how many people we were, things we were sending over to the county.
Yeah.
And,
And a record of complaints if there is
Right.
any
Yeah.
we could do that too.
problems.
I guess if it doesn't.
I don't think they're gonna even notice the difference. Actually, they'll get out of here faster because we won't have to use the Banyan system.
What do you think, Linda?
If they continue to pay the taxes here, and that's the first thing on that they can still continue to do that, or they have a choice, these other choices, then I'm okay with that. I don't want to give up that personal attention and feel like we're pushing them off,
Right.
Mhm.
you know?
I would agree. I mean, if there was zero impact, zero notice, zero impact to the residents or an
Right.
improved level of service potentially with us, maybe helping them with their online
Mhm.
Right, right.
or quicker service potentially.
Yeah, exactly.
I would be in favor of that. If there was any problems and it didn't work out though, even if it is 2022 and a new treasurer, I wouldn't care. I'd want to switch
Yeah.
back.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of
exactly.
complaints.
I
yeah.
I feel what you're saying, Becky, and I understand it. But I just think we owe it to the community to, and ourselves, I guess, the staff make the best use of their time. As long as the residents are
Yeah.
handled properly.
Right. Does this change anything? Still the same,
No?
Becky, or would you be in favor of trying it for a year? No, just want to
Okay.
keep it, okay.
Okay.
All right. Any other discussion?
Mm-mm.
Is there a motion on this item?
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion that we have the annual tax collection by Waukesha County for $1.60 per parcel.
Is there a second? For discussion?
I'll second.
All right. So what happens next year if it's a different amount?
Exactly.
So this is this year's.
Okay,
And then next year we have to bring another contract
Yeah.
in front of you with
It's
whatever it
everything.
is.
Yeah.
so it'd just be for,
This is only for the
2020.
2021
Yeah.
tax.
2021 taxes.
okay,
And then you'll get a new contract for 2022.
Right.
If you choose to bring that forward.
How much did it go up this year? Just curious.
It hadn't gone up for a few years and it did go up this year. They brought it up 5 cents this
Oh.
year. So it was $1.55 for many years at the county, at Waukesha that I remember.
Okay.
And Terry told me that this year's is going to be
Okay.
$1.60.
Do we have to put in that motion about Banyan or anything, or you just know that? No, not muddy it up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
other discussion? Doug?
Mhm.
I understand what was all said here, and I'm learning this process, but in my mind, if the citizens that want to pay here can still do it and they're not going to notice a lot of difference, and it's only for 1 year and we get to revisit this, and we're offering our citizens actually another option, more options, I guess it makes sense to me to at least try it and see with documentation, and we don't have to do it again the year after.
Any other discussion for you, Mark?
Nope.
I have none. Anything for you, Becky? All right, motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion passes 4-1. Becky was the nay. All right. Item C, discussion necessary action regarding the team building meeting awards.
All right, so last meeting, I mentioned in my report that we're doing monthly meetings with the departments, bringing them in, feeding them lunch, and doing a tournament to help them get to know their fellow employees, town employees. They can't partner up with anyone that's in their own department. They have to partner up with someone else and get to know that person. And so at the last meeting, I asked for the ability to give the champions, which would be done in September, a floating holiday. And we wanted to put it on the agenda so then we could talk about it some more. I'm not suggesting the floating holiday any longer. I'm suggesting 8 hours of comp time. And I have spoken with our attorney, Dan DeLeet, and he had said that it is not
Bless you.
illegal to give the employees comp time off. It would be what a public perception situation. So, but there's nothing illegal about doing it. And we don't have any unions that we have to worry about. We're a small enough group that would be the same as if you were a small business, essentially, that these types of things are done in. So I open it up to you, ask for two, it would come down to 2 people, get 8 hours of comp time if they continue to participate in the, and win the competition at our team's meeting,
And how often do you do those?
once a month.
I personally think that's exorbitant. I would never vote for 8 hours. Mm-mm.
I'd like to say, I think this team building thing is an excellent idea. I know it's working, and I think they enjoy it a lot, and you're getting a lot done, no doubt. I also think that if they're coming up here for lunch, it's probably going longer than a lunch hour, so they're getting paid to do your little tournament thing already. And I think they should get something to work towards. I really do. I don't know if I agree with giving them like a benefit, like time off or something that would be in their benefit package, but like if the team got some gift cards, like even a MasterCard gift card, $50 a person or something, or $100 a person. I mean, I think that would be way more appropriate. And I don't know, I think giving them time off might be problematic in my mind. But I don't want to see the thing go away. I like the program a lot. I really do.
So I do want to let you know that we do some business. We talk about what our accomplishments were for the last month. If they saw one of their teammates or their workers in their department do something exceptional that they think needs to be spelt out. We did do the first draft of the employee handbook and benefits package with them during one of these meetings. And so we do some business during those meetings. We're not just bringing them in, feeding them and having fun. We're also trying to get people to understand what we all do. So they get to meet everyone and say what we all are working on. So they understand we're just not people sitting in an office, just taking calls when they come in. We do other work. So it helps us all understand each other. The idea is to get them to want to stay in Lisbon as feeling part of the organization, not just a number.
How many people generally come to this?
You have an estimate of what we had? I don't know, 15, 20? Okay. So that's 5.
I don't even know
DPW.
if I agree with the $50 to $100. I think that's exorbitant. I think it's, if you want to give them something little, I don't know. I can't vote for that. Again, even $50 to $100. We're giving them lunch. They're giving some
Well, wait.
time off.
Okay, so
It's,
now let me rephrase. We're giving them lunch, but it is not coming out of the town's pocket. It's
Okay.
coming out of my pocket, and staff are bringing
it's kind of
things
a
in.
potluck.
Okay.
And, yeah, and the,
Yeah.
they bring drinks, the fire department brings drinks,
Okay.
the Public Works does all the grilling and
Okay.
do all the work.
Okay.
So we're a team putting it together as
Yeah.
well.
I think it's a great idea doing it. I just don't know if we have to do that part of it.
How about, I'll just get Falls Auto Parts to donate two $50 gift cards for a restaurant or something.
We do that. It's up to you. I just wanted to,
That way it's not in the town's dollar. And either that or I'll work with you, I'll figure something out.
I still think they'd be excited to get that, and they would have fun in a competition to get something like that. I do.
I think there should be some backlash to giving comp time for this.
Mhm.
And I think somebody like, I don't know what's all involved in the tournament. I think bags, I think, and I don't know if there's anything else, but you might have some people be sore about getting comp time for like if they're not skilled at something.
Mhm.
I'm not saying that's gonna happen, because this should just be positive is all it is, but I'll just,
and it seems to be working.
Mhm.
I'm getting
Well-
positive feedback.
What's
I'll
wrong
just
with like
donate from the outside
Yeah.
aspect of it. And then
what's wrong with giving like $25 a piece? I just think, let's just keep it.
I'm gonna
within-
do it personally. so
You know,
don't
but
to
you don't
worry about
have to do that.
it. You're right, I don't.
I
I'm
don't
going to.
think, yeah. Then they're gonna get used to it,
Come on,
No.
It's a morale
Come on.
builder.
It is.
Linda,
It's a
Linda,
morale builder.
you don't
That's
get
right.
to tell me no to donating to this. I'm gonna flat out tell you right now.
I don't have any right to tell you, but I'm just
You're right.
saying.
On this
Yeah.
one, you don't. That's
If-
not kill some morale with this one right here.
Okay.
If I want to donate $50 a piece person to do this, to build positive morale,
If
do
you
not
want to do
say
it, you
no
go
in
right
this meeting,
ahead. I
please.
don't want the town paying for it.
I had some discussion with Kathy. I think you remember at the last meeting, I was kind of opposed to the payment portion of it. I guess doing some reflection and talking to some people in the community, everybody thought it was a positive thing. I didn't hear anybody that's not in the town government that I talked to say that was a bad idea. And I guess I look at Richard Branson, and he's a very successful business guy, and he always flat out says, take care of your employees and they'll take care of your business. Well, I mean, we are a business. So for me, I like the idea of a reward. I had some ideas that I would like to share in the sense of kind of going with Joe's thing, maybe expand it to like a year-long competition where not just somebody who's good at bags can benefit from it. I mean, it could be boiled into a work skill competition or a department head recommendation. So, and I'm not saying this needs to be some elaborate competition like Hunger Games or something, but I do like the idea, and I don't think maybe if we gave them 4 hours, I think 8 hours. I mean, a day off for winning a bags tournament seems a lot, but I'm not opposed to a reward. So I'd recommend comp time at 4 hours for a regular employee. So, I mean, really, I don't think you're taking anything away from the taxpayers by giving them comp time.
Right.
If we had generous donations from outside, I think that's not taking away from the taxpayers, but I think if we wouldn't have those generous people, we can still accomplish this.
If they get comp time, and comp time still gets paid out at time and a half if they don't use it, right?
No,
No, it's
No.
use it or lose it.
Oh, okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
I guess I thought that, is this every month somebody wins something?
No.
Or is it?
Just at the
how
end,
often? So it's once a year
once a year.
they win something?
Yeah.
I can't see anything wrong with giving.
I was
them
thinking it
what
was
they have
once a
today,
month.
Or a gift. I think, honestly, I think they would appreciate
Mhm.
a half a day off more than anything else.
The only concern I have there with the fire department, if you give somebody some comp time off, they always have to backfill and get somebody in. It's not like you can just go short a guy for a while.
So it would be a problem with the fire department then?
Maybe, I mean, if they have to bring somebody else in,
Well,
or,
I know a retired fire chief who's getting more than that volunteer.
They don't have to bring
Backfill
gift
for
cards.
him.
yeah, I get the call once in a while now to make sure I'm up for the next call for service, and that's fine. I just think if you had a gift card or some kind of monetary thing, even if it's like $100 a person, which I think is awesome, I think they would still really appreciate that a lot.
Right, so
Yeah.
I go with a gift card.
And I think it
And I
should come
think
out
we
of
need to make it work
good and
for
welfare out of the town, I really do. If there is such a.
Yeah, I mean, I think the
That count.
intangible benefits of team building is going a lot farther than whatever 2 pennies it's gonna cost every single taxpayer.
I don't think any taxpayer would have a
No.
No,
If you told them they were paying an extra cent on their tax bill to have happier employees, I think they would
it's
probably
probably,
give it to.
that's probably not even a cent.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you did that, that would work, but I think that the town can afford to take care of their employees.
I agree.
We have always taken care of our employees, and I think we've gotten away from that. And I think it's a great morale builder.
It has been. I've had some people come,
I think, you know,
and I've had some people say that they don't want to miss it. So that's-
right, I think.
That's a
it-
positive.
I think it's a great idea. And it seems to be working,
Mhm.
so I would, and I think you have a tangible prize.
Right.
So,
So do we want to, do you have a motion, somebody?
I
Which
guess there was one
direction you're
idea
going
with
in?
Mark was talking and Maine as far as,
4 hours.
it was 4 hours there. I was on gift card. Becky sounded like she was, you gift card or comp time or either one or both
either
or.
one, I mean, I just think they need.
I like
some
gift
sort
card.
of reward.
I like a gift card idea. They already are getting benefits, time off, vacation, holidays, and those are part of their package. But I think a gift card of $100 a piece for the two that win or something would be awesome. And I think they would step up and really appreciate that a lot. I
You could
do.
have a showcase at the town summer picnic employee party, whatever it is.
Yeah, so we were talking about the community festival, doing something that would build camaraderie between the departments and actually not, because our team building is to build a team Lisbon employees. This would be one competition from one department to the next and include the town board as one competition, as one competitor group as well.
There's been some history of that.
And
I
we
know
could do some
Parks
fun
and
things.
Firefighters of the hospital,
Parks and DPW played, what was that on the ice skating rink, that
room ball.
broom ball against the fire department? Yeah, oh, yeah, right.
It was the
We
town
sent-
board versus on one of them.
Yeah.
And people got hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We also had a competition with,
So did workers' comp.
we had a competition with the sheriff's department on a weight loss program. And then we had the award went out when you had your Make-A-Wish thing. And there was so many sheriff's deputies that signed up for it, so many firemen, and we had to, as a group, lose so much weight.
Percentage of what.
Yeah, and we had like so many months and we had weigh-ins and things. It was fun. It's a very friendly competition for sure.
So where are we at?
When you say 15, how do you get 15? Because it's a fire department, it's a park department, it's a highway department? How do you do that?
It's like
Or
full-time employees.
15, what?
15 people?
Yeah, you said 15 people come to this.
Yeah, I was just estimating, I don't count them all.
Okay.
So the whole Parks Department comes,
Right.
all of the DPW comes, if they're not on vacation or they don't have something serious that they have to complete before they come.
Okay,
Our whole office participates, and then whoever's on, at the fire department, if they're not on a call
okay.
and they want to come. I don't require anyone to come.
Oh, yeah.
And because this is supposed to be something that's positive, and if somebody comes that's not very positive, it's hard to keep the positive flow going.
Is it possible to have the on-duty deputy come to that too? It'd be nice.
The what?
The deputy that's on duty.
We could do that. I know
and
I've
maybe the-
I've invited the building inspector. He came for lunch once, and then he had to go for.
At least the Lisbon squad, maybe the area 3 car. Always like to see them get involved too.
Mhm.
If the sheriff's department lets them, I'm not sure.
Right. I don't know. That's a thought.
So what's the prize gonna be? Becky's on either one, Doug's on gift cards, Mark, you're on comp. And or gift cards or just comp or?
Yeah, I mean, those
And if you,
2 hours of comp and
If-
gift cards from the town.
if you did though, I'm sorry to interrupt, but if you did include the sheriff deputies, you can't give them comp time. And if Brian O'Hafen's included, you're not giving him comp time. I mean,
I guess I wasn't envisioning any of those people would be
Teams are
eligible
already
for
picked.
this.
The
Okay.
teams are on the wall.
Okay.
That's that right on the back wall there is
Yeah.
is the competition. Those are the teams. And
So everybody that's on there would qualify for comp time this time around.
if that's the case, if you decide to do that, I would say if you're going to do gift cards, I wouldn't do a combination, gift cards and comp time. I would say either comp time or gift cards.
There you go, let them pick.
If you're a fire department guy, you have to have.
Well, that's where this could be a little
Yeah.
crazy because fire department hours are different than,
Right.
well, potentially different. Yeah, I guess we could talk
Well,
about
and
that.
hours are hours when it comes to
Yeah.
time.
Well, if it causes a problem, giving a half a day of comp time or something in the fire department, then we just say we're giving gift cards, period, end of story.
There you go.
Are you,
And do we want the gift cards paid for by the town board? Or do we want the gift cards paid for out of our fund where we give our
Our good
flowers and
welfare.
things? Yeah, good enough.
Good and welfare, I think.
I picked taking it out of good and welfare.
$100 a piece?
where are you at, Linda?
No.
So you're good, gift cards, $100 a piece, Doug?
Yep, I'll make the motion.
Okay.
Oh, you want me to make it? I have to actually say it, huh? I make a motion that we award the winners each $100 gift card out of the good and welfare of the town.
Is there a second? Second by Becky. Any other discussion?
I would like to see comp time included.
Why, do you want to win any of?
I'm not eligible. I'm not eligible. Even if I was playing, I couldn't take comp time as a board member.
Well, sure you could miss a meeting. Maybe 2. So how could you do comp time and a gift card?
Just like that.
What if-
Or a choice. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's what Elisa was just saying, choice
Well,
between
maybe
a
you
card,
could give them a choice.
$100 gift card or,
$100 gift card or a half a day off. Or half a day, yeah, because that's what it would be, right?
4 hours. You can't say a half a day because that would be 12 hours
Oh,
for the fire
okay.
department.
Right. That's true. But then
Thoughts?
what if the fire department picks the?
They're gonna pick the money because it's
Are
gonna
they
be
getting
hard for them to
$100
take it.
gift card?
And they're not gonna get off anyway if there's nobody to come in and work
Right.
for them. So the chief
Okay.
is gonna say no. Hopefully.
I mean, you're planning on doing this yearly?
Yes.
Could we just do gift cards this year and
Sure,
figure the comp time out one for,
comp time in the future.
is everybody okay with that?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries 4-1.
All right.
All right, just item D, discussion only regarding future plans for town-owned vacant parcels.
So as I'm trying to learn a little bit more about Lisbon, we came across some parcels in one of the jobs we were looking at that were town-owned, and I had no idea they were, what they were for. So what I did was I had the county give us a list of all of the town-owned property, and that's on your second page, the parcels.
I didn't know this either.
And so if we look through the parcels, 1 through 7 are our parks. And then 8 is the parcels that are in Business Park East. 9 is our cemetery, but parcels 10 through 16, if you guys could give me an idea of why we have them, if you know the reason why they're in our name, and what, when we receive them, what the future of them were supposed to be. If things to consider would be, is there still the reason that Lisbon should own them? Would it make sense for any future parks to be there? And should we put them back on the tax roll? So those are just questions I thought we should kick around. So I do have the slides in the bottom right-hand corner. If you go to 10, that's the first one that I have questions about.
I'm
And
willing to bet you 10 is because it's technically still a public road.
it is a public road, but it has a tax key on it. So it's actually property owned by the town, not just, we don't have tax keys for all our roads. But for some reason, we have our tax key on this. I wasn't sure if it had something to do with Sussex, because Sussex property comes right off of, one of their businesses comes right off the end of this. The 2 properties north and south of this road are both town owned. But I wasn't sure if there was a reason why we might have taken this.
Isn't the property just north village?
Oh, I'm sorry, it is the village, and south is the town. Thank you.
Is this by,
H&H.
H&H?
And it's interesting because we own the parcel, and if you see the partial shape, but then look at the blue line of Sussex, and it cuts right through the middle of this. So we actually own property in Sussex.
That is amazing. I can't wait to tell Anthony.
Oh, anybody want taxes?
Institutional.
So this is something, if anyone can remember why we have this in this fashion, or if we think it should just be the tax ID should be removed. I don't have any history on it. I talked to Joe D, and he didn't have any history on it. I wasn't sure if we were trying to block Sussex with it, and then really we wouldn't need to keep it there if that was the case.
Is anybody encroaching on these properties and using part of the properties?
Well, this one, I guess,
The back end looks like it is.
Which one is that?
the road that's on page 10.
Page 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just looking at 10
Oh,
right
okay.
now.
I mean, it actually looks like there might,
I
yeah.
mean, if there's a tax key on it, is there any parcel history?
I didn't look at the postal history, right?
This is way before me. Was this before you?
I don't remember. I remember something about this area, but I don't remember what.
Well,
Does it say in the history? Mark, when it,
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I know H&H moved over there and bought that whole property at one time, and that was just their driveway in. And then when that trucking company, Schmidt Trucking Company went in, they made that a road. I don't know if that.
This has been owned by the town all the way back to 2000.
who services this, like snow plowing and stuff?
We do.
We do.
We
Because
do?
it's still our property. I mean,
Yeah.
we still take care of it just like all the rest of our roads.
But there's still a tax key on it.
But we have a tax key on it,
Yeah.
so it's assigned to us. We could remove the tax key. I don't know if the reasoning was that the bulb was partially in Sussex.
It doesn't actually, yeah, because it doesn't technically, What's
I know
County
that that was a
Road?
driveway to H&H first before the village annexed that land to the north of it, and then that Schmidt Trucking went in there at the end of that.
Huh.
Whether, I don't know,
So we've owned it since 2000.
H&H
don't have
moved there way
anything.
before that.
That's just when the,
that's just the furthest record that
It doesn't go back any farther.
No.
I have no idea why we would own this.
Okay.
Me
So that was
either.
one that,
Paul Cherry.
And,
Yeah,
yeah, he might know.
Or.
Is he still living there?
Yeah, Jeff might know.
Jeff Mache probably knows, yeah.
Yeah,
Elaine, it's just for the purposes of GIS, it only goes back to 2000 and they have.
it might have been in the 70s.
1880.
Yeah. Might be the first parcel the town ever owned.
okay, I'll check with Jeff Moshe first and see if he remembers, because he remembered one other one that I talked to him about at the last plan commission meeting. So the next one, number 11, is the parcel on the corner of Town Line and Lisbon Road. And I think you have some history to that.
This was originally supposed to be a water tower or a well.
That's right.
I don't know when it was bought, but
I don't think it is a great place for one to, I mean, don't
No,
you
it's horrible
usually put
location
water
for one.
towers on hills and up high? No?
I don't, yeah, but I don't know. I mean, you'd have to build it because it's coming down the hill. I mean, maybe a well, but they would have been anticipated that it wasn't going to be anywhere near a quarry. I mean, but you go into the second aquifer, I guess it wouldn't matter, but
So do we have any thoughts about this property? If we should just keep holding on to it, or if we should get it back
I
on
might
the
want to talk
tax
to
roll?
Mitch and see if there's any potential use in the water system, because that's what it
Okay.
originally was thought to be, that I know.
Bless you.
Bless you.
All right.
Oh, we know about the next one.
Yeah,
The
there we go.
next ones, I understand that's a flood.
It sure is.
Yeah.
Is that something that we'd like to look on to see if we could do like a dog park or something like that there?
There was a lot of restrictions
Right.
on that when they
Okay.
got the grant
Bless you.
to burn those houses down and reclaim that. And we even talked about putting a road in there and some picnic tables, and they said,
Can't.
nope, absolutely not. So there was some FEMA restrictions or,
I wonder for how many years? It can't be forever.
What page are you on?
Number 12.
but I know that,
So when the
So-
Sussex Industrial Park went in, it started flooding back there. They can dispute it, they can say whatever they want, but it's,
yeah.
I mean, we were over there pumping out a couple houses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad.
Okay, so I'll look at the restrictions.
Yeah,
Hey,
there,
and
it's gotta
FEMA?
be somewhere when
restrictions?
they got grant, another one, and again, Jeff Mache would probably know.
You know,
Two of
the,
them we would, yeah.
Huh?
One of them we did with,
Well, the first two were first, and then
yeah,
Wagner,
Jeff did two of them.
Wallner came in
Yeah, he
later.
came in years later.
Yeah,
so do you have an approximate year? At least for one of them?
2012 or 2013 on two of them probably,
Okay,
and 2015 or
Yeah.
16 on the other one.
you're probably right, yeah.
okay. Just so I know where to start looking. The next two,
What did you say?
12, 13, or 15, 16.
Looks like 2011 was those three.
Would have been the two.
Could have only been
The
two.
first two northern ones were first, and then the south one was later.
So it's like 2011 for the first two.
2013, 14. for that one.
Yeah,
A couple
maybe.
years.
Oh, yeah.
2016 was the first year for the southern one.
Okay, I'll take a look at those, see what the restrictions that FEMA put on. The next one on page 13, this is Beacon Hill and Lakeview.
That
And-
floods,
Pardon me?
that floods.
Okay,
That's
so-
right where it floods, isn't it, Doug?
Those are wet, yeah, they're not buildable, so then from what I heard is then they were just donated to the town side.
Right,
think-
and so I talked to Joe D about them. I first talked to Jeff. That's how I knew they were supposed to be donated for park. And then I can't remember the name of the chairman that decided to say, well, this was going to be a wet basin that they were going to do. And so they put like around it, it has the mounds around it so it looks like a storm pond. But when I talked to Joe D, he said it's never been wet. They mow it. And somebody else is mowing it right now, doing they're using it for like, frisbee.
The kids are
Disc,
playing on it,
Yeah,
huh?
disc. Golf. Yeah, thanks, frisbee golf. And so in this case, I'm wondering if I could check with Mitch to see if he sees that there's any real drainage issues here, and then maybe bring it back to the board.
I might have pictures of this flooded.
Yeah.
But it was when we had all the real bad storms. I mean, it was a lake.
Yeah.
It,
Interesting.
it was, but I'm not saying it's still,
Mhm.
you know what I mean?
Is it back?
It was a long time ago. It was
Yeah.
back when, probably right when everything was flooding on Maple too.
Right,
We had those three back-to-back
the 100-year
100-year
storms
storms. Yeah,
that were here every year.
That's not designated floodplain,
that you're on there,
the closest floodplain.
not
is,
wetlands or anything.
uh,
It wasn't a floodplain.
You can't have any wetlands.
No wetland, no floodplain.
Yeah,
The closest
Berms, that's the name.
floodplain
I
is
was
over
looking
on
for.
Lake Drive as you come into the city.
It has.
Maybe it's never been delineated.
we don't need to start now.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. The way it's supposed to.
Okay, I made that mistake once.
Yeah. Been there.
So does anybody have a problem with me checking with Mitch to see if, when the berms were put up, why they were put up, and if it would make any,
He might not even know when the berms were put
yeah,
up.
but he has like Stigler's
No
uh,
records.
records to look at.
Mhm.
To see if we could make it into a park, because this is one of our park areas that we are short. And we have as Area B, I think, on our park plan. So the other one on page 14, same subdivision, just a little farther east. This looks like it's all wetland. I don't understand why we took them. Do you know why we would take wetlands and make it Lisbon's instead of keeping it on the tax roll for maybe?
Probably somebody didn't want it and they donated it.
At one time, didn't they have them donate a lot from a subdivision or?
Yeah.
future park or something?
Somebody wanted to give us 7 stones or something in the beginning of the subdivision and we refused it. Remember? Wasn't that long ago.
Looks like there's a FEMA floodplain on it, on the
On
bottom,
this one?
On the bottom part,
bottom half, and then
how does the top look close to the frontage road? Chester?
everything above the trees is free of some sort of delineation, but pretty much, right where that tree line is above the tax key on our map
Mhm.
is, where the environmental corridor comes up, and then the floodplain comes up about in between the tax key and the range number on our map.
It's 1.4 acres.
So we might have some, I know it looks like it's not going to be buildable. I understand that the one to the east on this, we may have sold to those, we may have owned that one and sold that in the past, but it doesn't look like this one's going to be sellable. Maybe leave it the way it is maybe consider it for some park if we take a look at it.
There's,
I
there's
mean, We
no,
wouldn't
li-
need park on both of them. but
there's no liability for us having this land. I mean,
No.
it just really doesn't do anything.
No, it's always good to put it back on the tax rolls if we can, which is why we're just,
Give it to the neighbor?
we could check with the neighbor to see if he wants to purchase it from us.
If he could if he made his property big enough that he could put a out shed on it or something, he might be valuable to him.
Yeah, the one directly to the east, has an environmental corridor up to their back door.
Oh, my gosh, are you kidding?
You can see kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
Wow.
environmental corridor.
Right,
That's
right.
that's nothing bad. It's just they're in shade.
And the floodplain comes halfway through their trees.
Oh, my gosh.
It added later, probably. You can see it there.
All right, so the next one, number 15, is this unusual shape
Wow.
next to 164 in Good Hope. And I'm not sure if that happened because they moved Good Hope Roads, where it came off
Yep.
onto 164.
Mhm.
And we ended up with this, it's almost-
It's an
like-
acre.
it's an acre of land.
It
Big
doesn't
enough
look
to
like
put
it.
a
Could have
lift station on?
a lift station.
We're gonna have to put a lift station over there at some point.
Okay.
Is that a good?
I was gonna say, you
I'll
need
check
something
with
to put a, uh-huh.
That also Jeff Mache would know a lot about, because when they redid that Good Hope and made that curve, that land all
Yeah.
changed.
I don't even know if that, I mean, I guess it would depend where the mains come there. Do we even know where the mains are over there yet?
They did show me where they were, but it's not on this one.
Sure. That might not be a good spot then.
And then the final one is 16, and that's by Canterbury Lane.
Wow.
It looks like it goes, is that the bug line on the
Yep.
top corner?
It
So
is.
it looks like there's like a path.
There's a
that goes
trail
through.
that goes through there. It's a wooded, it's like a planked trail.
Yeah. Planked trail,
It's wooden planked.
really? That would be nice.
Yeah.
Cool to see.
I didn't even know
But-
it existed until last year.
Yeah? You were just walking or?
Rode my bike on it.
So,
Uh,
so this would be considered parkland then? We wouldn't have to do anything to it, but we can call it parkland because it has a trail through it.
No?
You get more
We
money
just
from
have to
something?
maintain the trail to make sure that it's not falling apart.
I wonder
or
whose it is.
hazardous.
Where? What?
It's that, whose owns this? I mean, who
Well, we-
maintains the trail, I mean.
Yeah, I don't know. It's town owned, so that piece is town owned. That the trail is going from,
Right, but I don't think we put that in there.
I know that property just. The property just to the northwest of there is for sale right now.
That the trail's going through?
No, ours encompasses that whole trail,
mhm.
but ATC owns, there's two slivers between the bug line and that subdivision. And ATC owns both of them.
But you're right, Elisa, it could have been the developer that put a path through there and then just donated it to the town.
The northwest, this corner here is for sale?
Yeah.
By who? ETC, you said?
Well, there's two slivers between the bug line and the subdivision. And ATC owns both of them, which that trail runs right through ATC's property.
American Transmission,
Oh,
power lines.
Lines.
okay.
Power lines go right above it.
It actually cuts through both of the parcels.
Well, thank you for going through that with me. I know I thought it was good that everyone saw that we had the parcels and to help me understand more. So I've got some direction on what we could do in the future, or at least get some information on them, on what happened in the past, so. I wasn't asking for any motion or any action on this.
Item E, discussion necessary action regarding resolution 2021-13 granting easement to We Energies.
Okay, so last meeting, we went ahead and approved the work that We Energies was going to do for electric and gas down Richard Road in Lisbon Business Park East. But they need a resolution to approve the easement, and that's what this does, is gives the electric power company the easement to put those in
Did they
and
already
then
put,
maintain them.
did they already put the stuff in?
No. They won't do it until we sign this.
I figured.
So they're holding off until we get this done.
Any questions on this one? No? Mark, any questions on it? Becky, any questions on it? Is there a motion on this one?
I can make a motion to approve resolution 2021-13, resolution granting a distribution easement to the Wisconsin Electric Power Company, DBA, We Energies, Lisbon Business Park East, Richard Road.
Is there a second?
Second.
By Doug. Any final discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Linda Beal is out of the room at the moment. Item 12, unfinished business. A, discussion necessary action regarding Lisbon Fire Department Employee Benefits Manual.
Joan, you don't have to stay for this. You can take off. All right, so in the last meeting, we had the, just touched on a couple things. Time off section is what we're going to be discussing. And we just tabled it to this meeting. So we started with the leave schedule, and no decisions were made. What I set up was that we would do the leave schedule just as the Menominee Falls Fire Department is doing it. Our full-time fire department people had no problem with waiting 2 years before they got their time off. 1 week, their second week of vacation off. And we moved it from hours to shifts because they are used to shifts and they do everything by shifts. So that's how we wrote it. So any thoughts on leave schedule?
Doug, Mark?
Yeah, I looked up some other places that do this. I had a few things that I found. There are places that in their personnel manual will make a delineation such as they still keep it with the weeks. So you eliminate the shift thing and they just know each week shall consist of 5 8-hour duty days for 40-hour personnel and 3 24-hour duty days for 52.3-hour personnel to be computed annually on January 1st. So that's how they did it. And last time we talked, there was something about the shifts that we had to get through as far as computation. But they just, this is from an employee manual that has both 40-hour employees and then California, they call it?
California
California.
schedules what they're on.
And
So-
I kept that separate so that, because they are so different in the way that they work, the California and the 40-hour. That's the reason why I split the two different ones.
Well, the question is, the shift guys are what we're talking about. The 40-hour people or
That's all done.
that's all done. So what is happening now, and I was telling you, there's a formula that we're using currently. So what the formula is because it's based on a 56-hour work week is their normal work week. So if you were to give them an example, 3 weeks of vacation, you take 56 times 3, which is 168, and then you divide it by the 24-hour shift, and you get then 7 shifts would be equivalent to 3 weeks off. And that's how we're currently doing it. So, and what Kathy is saying is if you just give them the shifts off in that time frame, it's sort of almost the same thing. But you're right, technically, mathematically, you're giving them more hours than a 40-hour a week guy, because you're giving them, at 3 weeks, you'd be giving them 120 hours. We're giving them 168, but it's a shift off. So,
You're saying for a 3-week equivalent, it would be 7 shifts?
right, and yeah. By doing the math of how they are formulating this now. Which looks and appears to be very similar to, and not much different than just giving them the shift time off in that period. Which Kathy's proposing.
Yeah. How can we differentiate the leave schedule for regular employees at 1 to 59 months and then 5, 10, and 15 after that? And then we change it for
them. And I did
for
have,
fire.
originally, I had the same schedule on there, but then when we took a look at Menominee Falls, they switched it to taking a little bit longer to get to their 3 weeks. 9 shifts, 3 weeks.
Because you changed it to so many hours earned every month instead of
Right.
a year you get a week, or 2 years you get 2 weeks, or, because you changed it from that to earning your vacation hourly per month.
Right, you get a portion
So the fire
Yeah,
department has to
accrued.
wait longer to occur
a day.
a day.
So if you'd like to go back to we should grab one of our ones. You want to grab the employees, the current 40-hour week. Yes. Breakdown.
This is 40-hour employees.
No, I just figured you'd grab. Yeah, so we separated it so then they were okay with going from 1 week and then waiting till they were here 2 weeks to get 2 years to get their second week. Whereas for everyone else, they start earning. And the full-time guys and gal was fine with making that change for the number of shifts when we sat down and discussed it.
I mean,
And you would prefer to have the exact same 1 to 59, 5-year, 10-year, 15-year.
I don't see any reason why we need to benefit the fire department less.
It's
Because they're all getting 5-week equivalencies.
over a long period of time, 5 weeks.
A longer period of time.
It just takes them longer before they can use vacation, because they have to gain enough time to have a shift off.
Right, but a 20-year employee at the fire department is just getting their 5th week equivalent. And
Right.
a DPW worker's already had it for 5 years.
Right. So would you like me to change it to the same?
I mean, if it's, from what I'm understanding, is equivalency is the same, because people who work a 40-hour a week work 20, 80 hours a year.
Right.
The fire department does not work 20, 80 hours a year. They're required to be here longer if they're a full-time equivalency. It was like 20,
It's
21 something.
it's 20, almost 22, I
Almost
think.
22.
I don't want to be quoted, but yeah.
So I mean, if it's equivalent, I can't see why we need to have a different schedule.
It's just how they occur it, how they earn it. Where now we've changed it to where you're not here a year earning time, you're earning hours per every month is what you got to change it to. So,
Right.
and that, I think everybody likes that.
Yeah,
But
and I think that's a different part of the discussion. is-
Going through the accrual instead of dropping it in and not having to keep track of it for people. That was the whole idea, was the reason we went to accrual in the first place was so we didn't need someone to keep track of when everybody's anniversary was, when they were supposed to be getting their third week, when, and it automatically does that in the system.
Yeah, I mean, to get 6 vacation days in 2 years as a firefighter versus somebody who else has been here for 2 years.
Is getting 2 weeks.
So you're getting 10 work days, they're getting
Yeah, but
6.
Yeah, but they're not the same.
I know they're
But
not the
they're,
same.
but they work, but the 40-hour people are working 5 days
Right,
and they're only working 3 days.
so the equivalencies are the same, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
The schedule at which you earn it is way different.
Okay, so get the schedule back, keep the shifts.
Yeah, I mean.
The way
if
that we have
The
it.
equivalency is the same
Okay,
as what a other town of Lisbon employee gets.
Yep.
I mean,
okay.
if I was a firefighter, I would say there's an inequity as far as.
Well, as far as them getting up to the maximum in amount of time, they're, the way it is now, they're waiting longer.
Right.
But it is hard to compare the jobs because they're not the same, so there's always going to be some differences, but I don't think any of our employees across the departments are going to really care or get involved.
How many shifts a month do you put in?
Hmm?
How many shifts a month do you put in?
10, right?
Well, it's over the 28 cycle period, so
About, so it's like 9 or 10,
I think it's 11,
10 or 11?
10 or 12.
So 15 24-hour shifts is a month and a half off for a
Mhm.
firefighter, but 5 weeks is only a month
A
and
month and one.
maybe a month and a few days for a normal employee.
But it's 6 weeks, a month and a half is 6 weeks.
Or 7 almost.
I don't think you can look at it from the days, you have to look at it as hours, because a regular employee is not here for more than 8 hours.
Okay,
I
well,
just think, I guess if you look at who you're recruiting, you're competing against other people recruiting people that are entering into the leave schedule, because we don't have lateral transfer benefits, do we? Like that stuff. So I mean, everybody coming into our benefit schedule is starting in that first box.
They're putting in 12 or 13 days shifts, I think. I just counted it through the
Oh, well, then
calendar.
that's- Then
Huh?
that works.
Yeah.
Then that works.
And how many hours did you have to work at one time?
24.
all right, so what I'll do for the next draft is I'll do the same thing with the same schedule we use for the 40-hour. But keep it as shifts. Okay?
Yeah, I didn't see that the schedule of shifts needs to change. Obviously, but you're gonna eliminate one of them.
Right. Fine. Okay. Then on the next page. Sick leave. So with them earning 16 hours of sick leave with pay every 2 months, which is different than what the rest of us do every 2 months, and then the 40 hours. But then because they're getting more time off, we had to make sure their accumulation was allowed also. So 55 shifts would be their maximum sick time, or 1,320 hours. And that is, actually, I took what the percentage was of the hourly, the 40 hours, and I broke it down by what the, how much time they would have off, and made it the exact same percentage of time off for the full-time fire department. Sorry, I've got something in my eye.
You said 16 hours of sick pay. How is that different than the regular employees? What did,
You get 8.
good, 8?
So 4 more.
So this, and you, I know you ran this by all these employees
Mhm.
and they were okay with this too? Because this is actually giving them less than what they're getting now.
Yep.
Because right now they're getting 12 hours per month and here they'll be getting 8, right? They get 16 every 2 months.
Right, but they have not had, we have not had anything in writing on how
Well,
any of this time is.
right.
So when I sat down with them, I went through it all step by step with them, and I didn't have any, I mean, they gave me some feedback, so it wasn't like they were all sitting there worried that I was going to not agree with them. I just, we hashed things out. I did a draft, brought it back, went through the draft with
Yeah.
them, and they didn't have any concerns with it.
Because what they're currently are getting now is that their sick days are not available until after 6 months, and they get half a shift each month as sick time, which would be 12 hours a month, is what they're currently getting. But that doesn't mean that this is wrong, I'm just saying.
Any concerns with the change?
Doug? Linda?
You said 8 hours. Isn't that, like the highway department or whatever, they get 8 hours per month or 8 hours every 2 months?
Every 2 months.
Okay. And I know the hours have something to do with all of that with the fire department, and to me,
Right,
it's a
with the
little
shift.
confusing. Yeah, okay.
It's a different animal.
Yeah. No, I'm okay.
We did talk about the ability to move their money when they retire. Their 25% of their unused vacation, they get paid out, and instead of paying it out as a check, we talked about putting it in a health IRA account. I used that at the county. It was very nice. Health IRA, you can actually pay premiums.
Mhm.
If we put it in a regular HSA, you cannot pay premiums, but you can pay your doctor bills that the premium didn't take. But since they are looking at retiring before 65, they thought it was a good idea to put it in because it would be pre-tax and it would stay pre-tax to pay their premiums, their insurance premiums. And so I did not put that in here, but I'll bring it forward for all employees in the future
Nice.
at a future date. I've got other things.
Sure. Mark, what you feeling?
Mine seems to be equivalent to.
All right,
Becky?
holidays. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
So holidays was a big change. So right now, and we don't really have any good plan for holidays except what I put here. So we have not been real consistent here with our holidays and our fire department since they changed over to 24s. So what we did was we took exactly what Menominee Falls does, and they give 120 hours of time off in lieu of holidays. If you work the holiday, you don't get double time. It's whatever you're scheduled, you work. And that's what happens when you're a nurse or you work in the hospital. You work when it's your scheduled time. You don't get paid extra.
Mhm.
But this 120 hours takes care of that holiday time off. And we would do that, earning it on a quarterly basis. So in January, they would earn some, then April, instead of dropping 120 hours in January to find out they used it. And now we have to try to collect it because they left early. So my thoughts were quarterly, they would get their 30 hours every quarter. And we made it so it's the beginning of the quarter, not the end of the quarter. So then they still had time to take it before the end of the year. And just like all holidays, it's use it or lose it.
What was it before? Nothing in there?
It was 132 hours.
And it was paid out And they still got, if they worked or not. And it was, we had nothing in writing exactly how we were supposed to pay them. And so in 19, they didn't get their holiday pay. In 20, they got double holiday pay. And so we wanted to make sure we had something really solid before we start dealing with their holiday pay for this year. So,
Yeah, it was based on 12 hours times the amount of holidays. And
Right.
I think the town
And so-
has 11 holidays.
11.
Yeah.
Really?
So I think, right? 11.
9 and two floaters.
Yeah.
Oh,
So then it was 132 hours. They were
oh,
supposedly getting a check at the end of the year.
And they were fine with the 120 hours, getting it quarterly. They didn't have any problems with that.
okay.
I mean, I did go through this with them twice.
Yeah.
So a lot of them said they didn't even know what they were getting paid for hours. They have no idea what their job duties are.
Oh, come on.
It was just kind of an interesting conversation.
I have all of it here. They've all been handed to them. I don't know how many times.
But
They've
they
been
don't
given all
read
their
it.
Don't
job
take it
descriptions.
personally. It's
I
just,
just am saying.
just
whatever.
I know.
don't
From a
take it
business
personally.
Standpoint, wouldn't it be better to allow them the option to work or take pay? Because if we're forcing them to take the hours as time off, we might have to take time and a half to fill their spot. Because it's a continuous operations shift.
So tell me again.
So you're requiring an employee to take the day off. Likely that's gonna cause an overtime situation.
If they take some of the time that they've earned for holiday pay, they would use it just like their vacation time.
Right, which we
And
have
so-
to backfill.
Which it's continuous operation,
Yeah.
so we
Okay.
have to backfill. So now, instead of paying 2 shifts, we're now paying 2.5 shifts. Because we're choosing to make them use the hours.
It's not like in the office where you don't bring someone in, you have to
Yeah.
have a backup.
Mhm. So are you thinking we just pay them out?
Give them the option.
Or
I'd give the
you-
option. I mean,
or
still
you,
leave the use of holidays as manpower permitting.
Or they get
Or-
paid when they work the holiday and they don't get paid if they don't work. the holiday. So they get double pay if they work the holiday and they don't get any pay if they don't work the holiday. So if you're not scheduled on that holiday, you don't get holiday pay because it
No.
wasn't your scheduled holiday.
Right.
And then you don't get a holiday at all.
So instead of gracing them the 30 hours, you could do it on a system where if they work the holiday, then they have it for the next year in the bank.
Oh my gosh, we're trying to get away from banks. That's the whole idea.
But that solves your problem of paying out employees for being here for 1 month and getting paid 12 months of holidays. If they work January 1st, they then next January 1st get the whole year of holidays they work for the entire year.
We just pay them double pay the day they work.
Yeah, if they work the holiday, we pay them
And
double
we don't pay them anything
They
if
don't
they
pay
didn't.
anything otherwise. If they're off, they don't get paid a holiday.
Then they're not getting the 11 holidays. They're not
Yeah,
getting
they-
the same benefit as the GPW or anybody else.
And that's,
They're getting double pay.
well, if they
Why
work
not?
it, they,
We would have to pay them WRS on the double pay though.
Yeah.
We don't pay them WRS on the holiday check.
but we pay everybody on the holiday check. So everybody's getting paid, what, 132 hours
Right now,
right now?
yeah, they just get a check for 132 hours. Although you're telling me they didn't get it 1 year.
1 year they didn't get it, so we paid them.
Oh.
I wanted to make sure
Oh,
that they were all
yeah.
paid.
I just think from a business standpoint, I would leave it as an option. Because there are some people that would rather work and then have that paycheck. Some people use it as a Christmas slush fund.
Yeah.
Some people would prefer just to have the time off.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But I think by telling people they're gonna take the holiday, you're now causing a situation where what do we do if we don't have the staffing available to let them take off?
Yeah, well, right now, when they
Well, then
want a
they don't get
vacation
off.
time or take time off, they submit a
They get-
form and then
they
they
have
look
to
at the
find-
schedule and if there's nobody there, the
They
chief
can't get
goes, no, you can't go. So,
okay,
they just call them
so
sick.
let's try to figure something different out. This is what they do in Menominee Falls, so I just took it from there. So I figured it worked, but I guess maybe not. So on my So would you rather just pay them out at the end of the year? A flat fee
I think
of
that would be the
132
best.
hours?
I guess if you left it as a use or get paid out, if the departmental staffing allows for it and somebody wants to take it off, then it's not costing the town any additional funds because we have to fill that shift anyway.
Well, sometimes they do, and especially during holidays, there seems to be a lot of maybe paid on call people around that say, oh yeah, I'll respond from home or I'll fill in, you know. And there is 600, not a lot, but I think there's like 620 hours of part-time money available for the whole year to try to backfill, which probably isn't
Isn't enough,
enough
I guess.
anymore, but
Um,
so there is, having the option, I think, is good, but they could be denied.
I'm thinking that because of the trade situation. So now you've got the holiday, you're scheduled for the holiday and you go, hey, you want to come and work for me on the holiday? And they're still going to get paid their holiday pay, but they didn't work their scheduled holiday. So you might get one or two people that are willing to work holidays and the other ones are all getting their time off because they traded.
But they're trading,
That's
and the department has nothing to say about it. I mean, they owe each other all those trades. That's on them, because I've heard
You
these
trade
horror
too?
stories where
You
people
do
have
trades
traded
also?
I'm salary, but our hourly employees trade all the time.
and they,
Trading.
There's
I've-
people that'll trade a Wednesday for a Saturday. Don't ask me why, but they
Yep.
do it.
and I've heard these horror stories where people have traded and now the guy owes them 2 or 3 days and he quits or something,
Yeah.
and that's just too bad. You got burned.
It's a civil action then,
Yeah,
yeah. We'd have to take them to court for the.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you just lost it. That's the way it is. But
Right, so we don't like the holidays. So let's, so do you have a direction for the holidays that you'd like paid?
Sure, yeah, can be used as time off, manpower permitting. If not, then paid out at straight wage, because they'd be earning straight wage anyways.
right, at the 132 hours.
132 or the 120. Why did you change it to 120? Because Menominee Falls was?
I did, and they were okay with that change.
I mean, I'd be fine with the 120, because it looks like it's on par with. the,
Ours. Yeah.
Mhm,
And they're gonna get vacation acceleration.
mhm.
Well, and they agreed to it, so. I mean, but, so at the end of the year, after they work a year, all the holidays are behind you. They either get the check or they take the time.
So so looking at the payroll system, so if they work it, they're getting just their regular pay,
Yeah, because it's
And then-
continuous operation, every day is the same.
right? And then we just give them everybody holiday pay that day for that holiday.
You're just giving 11 holidays pay one time a year.
Yeah, you're not giving them double time.
No,
Mhm.
But we're still, well, essentially, we are.
At the end of the
Because
year.
anybody that works the holiday would be getting double pay because they're going to get their regular pay and they're going to get holiday pay at the end of the year. If we still do end of the year checks.
but if you don't do that, then you're saying that some firefighters only get 2 holidays. Everybody else that works for the town gets
But
11.
what I'm saying is when July 4th happens, when we do the time cards for July 4th, they all get paid their July 4th holiday.
Oh, no, at the end of the year, they get a check for all 11 holidays.
Continuous service operations, you don't look at holidays. I mean, you just don't look at holidays any different than a Monday in June.
Right.
You work it, you work it. If you don't, when your cycle comes in the next couple of years, you're gonna have it off. So, and I mean, there are people that want to work holidays.
And you get paid I know your salary, but in Waukesha, they pay out at the end of the year.
So yeah, it's either you can use your holidays because you earn them in 1 year, so you don't have to worry about people not being here. You earn them 1 year and then you can use them the next. So if you're only here for December of, let's use this year, if you're only here for December of 2021, you'd only earn what, Christmas Eve, Christmas, and New Year's Eve.
Yeah, 3.
So you're on 3, and then all of 2022, you have 3 holidays to use. Or on the last paycheck in December, you get paid your 3 holidays.
And how is that, how is that monitored? I mean, who's keeping track of their holidays? That if they used them or didn't use them, they wanted to get paid out on
Management
them?
payroll. I mean, everybody's got a benefit
Yeah.
book that we go off of.
Right, it's just, that's the problem is that our system doesn't do this off the books type situation.
We have a computer system that does it. We have a Excel spreadsheet that we
Yeah,
track.
I mean, right now, we're tracking everything on
We have
Excel.
a daily attendance roster that's tracked on. It's tracked in 3 different spots.
Okay. All right,
I mean, that,
that's,
the earn 1 year, use the next eliminates the chance of an employee separating and
Yeah.
then making off with 120 hours or what, 80 hours or whatever.
okay. All right. No change for the retirement or deferred comp or any additional. So they still have the $500 for their safety equipment. They like that increase, but I told them we'd have to talk about that during budget time.
Yeah, $500 per person is, I think, efficient. And the system they have now is they just don't get to spend that any way they want. They have to get every one of those approved.
Right, right.
So, they
Yeah.
can't come in and say, I want 12 pairs of pants. That's probably not going to be approved,
Yeah, and they have to return a receipt if they purchase
Right.
something like boots or whatever.
Right. So it's pretty monitored.
Mhm. Yeah, I went through it with Michelle.
Yeah.
I wasn't concerned about it.
What happens if somebody just starts and you have to, they have to have the boots and they have to have this and that, and all of a sudden after a month they quit? Just the luck of the draw.
We keep the stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the towns.
Mhm. Okay.
All right, that's all I had for this. I'll bring back another draft. It's all right, we're working through it.
Item 13, motion to adjourn, anybody?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Who's going to second it?
Second.
Second by Mark. No discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You're out at 9:13.
No problem.
You surprised what we did when you were